No. So we should be live. I know we don't have a proper thumbnail. It is what it is. It has to be like that this week, I'm afraid. Let's go open this. Close that. Open 88. Yeah, I'm sorry that's on the screen. I don't have a thumbnail, so I know it's like seems like kind of dumb, but alright, okay, I can hear myself on the thing now. I had issue because last time I listened to the show back, I sounded really low. So I wasn't happy that my audio was so low on the stream. It's gonna open big on this topic in the coming weeks. So Mario DK, I'm gonna bring you into the room so we can test out the shows. Thank you everyone for turning up for the pre-show. This is like the best pre-show we had. Waku Waku Soniku Pato Car. Oh, Pato Car must be an abbreviation of patrol car. Pato Car. That's what it said. We're disappointed to sales of Final Fantasy 16. What is Waku Waku Sonic anyway? Thank you everyone to come to pre-show. This is an amazing turnout. I really appreciate it because I actually didn't really feel like doing the show today. But your support means a lot to me. So thank you, Dank Me Center, J2 Blue, Jago, Johannes, Mario DK, Kike, Mousy, and anyone else that was here that I may have forgotten. Today's show is going to be a little bit different because Mario DK is going to be joining me from the beginning and it's going to help co-host hopefully. So thank you everyone. We're going to go into the on-air room now. Everyone please come over to the main show on YouTube. Here's the link. Hop on in, hit the like button, let's get some more people in. Let's go. I know there's not a proper thumbnail. I couldn't make one, so we just got the Metascore. I'll change it later, I promise. I'll change it later. Okay, bye everyone. I'll catch you on the other side. So let's bring Mario DK into the room. Mario DK, can you hear me? I don't know. Mario DK, come back in. Don't run away. Mario DK, leaving.
Am I here?
Yes! I can hear you, Mario DK.
Sure, because it's still showing.
No, okay. You're in the room with me. Dank and Mousy need to move from the pre-show room. So you won't be able to hear this Mario music, unfortunately, but it's loud in my goddamn ear holes.
It sounded pretty good when I was in the pre-show, but you could probably lower it a bit, I think.
Yeah, I want it lower, and I need to look at the levels of you and I. Testing, 1, 2. Mario DK, say something. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, your level is hella loud. Holy crap. I'm good, thank you. It's the heat. The heat is like crazy getting to me. Jacob's a joke. He just comes in and says, Sonic. Sonic, Jacob, what does that even mean? Why are you coming into my chat and saying just Sonic? Just one word. So not even hello. Sonic. That's what Jacob says instead of hello now. Sonic. the Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog doesn't look anything like a hedgehog. It literally does not look like a hedgehog. It's just a blue thing. It does not look like hedgehog. What's that about foam stars? What is that? When are you going live planning to do a show? Well, now. We're doing it now, so I've only just seen your message. We're showcasing foam stars. Who better to kick off with our bubbly? Oh my god! I can't wait till this game comes out because they said people they this game called Foam Stars. Mario DK. They kind of it was previewed at Summer Games Fest. People played it and they said, "Oh wow, this plays really well." They was really shocked. And I was like, "Well, if they literally copied Splatoon. Splatoon's gameplay is good, so of course it's going to be good. I mean, how could if
Nintendo,
they did? Yeah, so go ahead.
Nintendo kind of did all the legwork on the gameplay idea, so
basically, yeah, it's like if they couldn't get the gameplay right, then they're doing something extreme, but they managed to get that right. The issue is going to be the monetization. To be honest with you, it's going to be the monetizations. Knuckles, the Echidna, knock knock. Knuckles doesn't look anything like an Echidna. Hi, Game Killer 64. Can you please let us know how my levels is versus Mario DK? Is either of us too low, too high? There's some very subtle Mario music in the background. Today's show is going to be a little bit different because it is hot. Yeah, I gave Jago mod status ages ago, last week because I didn't have a mod because Dank wasn't here. But I can mod you too. I just didn't mod you because I thought you didn't want to be a mod. You're a bit quick. Do you want to be a mod, Mousy? On here? Because I didn't want to give you too much responsibilities, like, because you're mod on the Discord. I didn't want to, like, overwhelm you. That's why I didn't do it. You're good. Okay. Well, maybe one day I'll need, but if you don't want to be a mod, it's fine. It's just so you can you know, we had some, you know, people doing, you know, weirdo stuff in the chat last week. So, right, welcome everybody. Let's get started. Today's show slightly different just because I'm completely knackered out and I didn't like do like a we was in the pre-show room for ages, but I didn't do like the super crazy good prep. Like, no, it wasn't you know, I've prepped a bit, but like nothing crazy. And we've got no thumbnail this week, so you're wondering why you just got a screenshot of the Final Fantasy 16 Metascore. Well, it's because I can make a thumbnail. That's why. I don't even know how to make thumbnails. I've just been stealing them from the what do you call it, the Streamlabs thing, and I couldn't find it this week, and I'm just like, you know what, I don't even need to do this now. So it is what it is. Yeah. So if everyone can hear Mario DK, okay, we're gonna get started. Mario DK has kindly agreed to co-host with me.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Have a direct and 16 reviews to discuss.
We've got 16 reviews. The reviewed very, very well. And unfortunately, thanks to DPD, I do not have my collector's edition of Final Fantasy 16. For those who don't know, they didn't see it on Twitter, it was supposed to be delivered yesterday. DPD, which is the courier company, just decided they're not going to bring it. They're not going to come. They said they sent me a message saying, "Oh, you wasn't in." Yes, I was in. Like one of those "you're not in" messages, automated thing. What? Yes, I was. They didn't even come to my building. They didn't ring the buzzer. No, they didn't. There was no card, no nothing. They just took the thing. When you're not in, they go and take it to a local shop. There's no way on their website to complain about it or anything. So I couldn't go and get it today. I don't have time, and I have health issues and stuff that makes it difficult for me to do a lot of stuff in one day. So it was either go and get it or do this show. And it's like 10 trillion degrees out. So because I'm busy tomorrow and Sunday is closed, I think it's closed anyway. I'm not going to be able to get it till next week. So can't play. So it is what it is. It's fine. Even if I got it today, I wouldn't be able to play it today because after this show, I'm going to be knocked the F out. I'm going to be knocked out. Now my auto tweet should have gone out. So yeah, it sucks. Yeah, with UPS, these they do that thing because I live in a tower block. I live in an apartment building, right? I live like 10 stories up, and so they just didn't even come. Anyway,
Probably was too hot for them. They're like, yeah, I'm not gonna walk 10 stories up in this heat.
There's a goddamn lift. There's a lift. There's literally a lift. They don't have to walk up the stairs. What do they have to walk up to? They didn't even come. I know for a fact they didn't come here. I'm furious. I was absolutely furious yesterday. You probably saw my messages and everything. I'm furious. Okay, let me open this thing because we didn't like properly start. Welcome everybody. Mousy, who is my faithful right hand woman, said I should have a proper intro to this show. It's been suggested to me multiple times. I actually don't have a proper intro. But Mario DK, let's get started by introducing you. Now, Mario DK I know via Install-Based Forum, and Mario DK is a regular over there and writes some pretty insightful posts, I feel like. So that's how I know Mario DK. Mario DK, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? Just, you know, like what games you like or anything like that. Mario, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe Mario. I'm not sure what else.
just a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What else?
Yeah, so I am obviously a Nintendo fan from my name. Grew up with playing a lot of the handhelds and big into Mario, Monster Hunter. Used to be
Mm-hmm.
bigger into Pokemon before kind of fell off.
Fella.
Yeah, Smash, Mario Kart. Um, and then Switch has had better third-party support, so I've bought games like Dark Souls and Skyrim, but they're just unopened because I have a huge backlog.
Oh, same.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, I've been following the sales community for like, I want to say since 2018 or so, when it was back
Ooh.
on the Reset era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Because I used to be like, I would have like a preconception like, oh, this game is like, it has to be popular in Japan, or like, oh, obviously like handhelds are so popular in Japan, or I had all these different ideas. Like maybe like you would consider them like the typical stereotype of like what everyone thought Japan was, but then you look over there and it's like,
You actually see
oh,
like things that
like
you would assume is popular. You're like, oh wait, no, hang on, that's Final Fantasy's been dropping off for like years. Like, what's going on? Street
yeah,
Fighter's not huge. What's happening? So I had the same thing. Like things I thought. I'm like, this is well, obviously it's bringing Japan, Japan, and you go and look, and then you're like, oh wait, no, hang on, that's not what's going on. Something else is happening.
yeah, like you look at like Zelda, because like it had previously not been that popular since like the NES days. Um, and then Breath of the Wild just exploded, and then even now you get people that are like, "Oh, Zelda's not that popular in Japan." Like, yes, that used to be true, but Breath of the Wild kind of like had brought like a lot of new people into the series.
For
So
sure. It was used to do just okay. It did all right. It wasn't
yeah,
huge there. It wasn't like it didn't like super underperform or anything like that. But it just did okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. But now it's with
I mean,
Breath of the
because
Wild
it's not,
and Tears of the Kingdom is
yeah, it's not,
huge.
yeah, it's not, and it's not just the numbers. It's like the rationale. Like you question like, okay, why did everybody abandon Nintendo in the N64 days? Like, why did the PSP and the Vita seemingly get better support in some ways? Like, why is there no Bandai Namco games on this platform? Or why
Yeah,
is Sega like not supporting this platform? And the majority of the time it's sales, but sometimes you find out that there's like a lot of personal bias. So ultimately, I just find it very interesting because, especially the Japanese market, because they have weekly sales, so you can really just like get a unbiased, more or less, look at the market, and it's just interesting to like gauge and predict these sales. And over time, I feel like I've learned a lot more about like why the market is the way it is. Um, so yeah, I've been on install base for a long time. In fact, I actually came up with the name for install base.
no, shut up.
Um,
No, you didn't.
yeah, it's on my like install base avatar. It's like right under it. It says like you can put like a little quip or something.
Yeah.
Um, but I was
Is
there from the
it?
beginning with install base on the Discord when we were
I
like
need to
creating it.
check this out.
Yeah, yeah. Go on install base. Look at my.
I'm looking at it now. I'm doing it now.
Yeah,
I don't believe. Let me see.
yeah. It's not like an
Forum
official.
Namer. Oh yeah, you put it there. Okay, well yeah, you
Yeah,
put.
it's
You
not like an
haven't. Hang on, hang
official.
on, hang on. Hang on. When we talk about it, it's how many install base bucks you have.
I've only
1,900 install base bucks.
I've made a couple bets. I'm not too big on betting. Like I don't have.
Oh.
I just don't have the motivation some people like other people do.
I have what we have. You probably haven't done it on my forum either. We have not forum Discord. We have a betting bot on my Discord. Where we
Yeah, yeah.
betting with fake money. It's a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit more fun than the install based one because it's a little bit more engaging because you can level up and you can open up these daily loot boxes. Whereas with the install based bucks, once your money runs out, I don't know if they give you any. I think that's just it. They don't give you any more money. Like, how do you get more money?
I don't know. Maybe it's like once a year they give you. I don't know. I don't know how it works because I don't bet too much. But yeah. I mean,
How many install based bucks have I got? Look, I tried to put a thing on there, like to say, oh, come and come and check out the show. I don't know if anyone ever does though. Hang on, how do I see my ball store-based bucks? Oh, I've only got 1,170 because I lost a load of bets. Yeah,
I lost I won a recent bet, I lost a recent bet, and
store-based
I
bucks.
forget which ones they were, but yeah, for like in terms of like naming install base, we were just like trying to come up with names, and I was like, well, install base makes sense because we talk about that a lot for the sales forum, and base kind of is similar to like a home base kind of, so
This is
I
amazing.
suggested it.
Mario DK
then,
named install base. This is absolutely amazing.
Well, and then we all voted on it, of course, so like everybody agreed on it, but
Well, you came up with it.
I threw it out there, and it was, on the poll. So
That is awesome. That's absolutely awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you for coming. I like them. I actually really like them. I feel like it's. Sorry if you can hear like motorcycles or like whatever. I don't know, man. It's just like a whole bunch of motorcycles going past.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so you can see that my yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to thought now. You know what I mean? This heat's getting to me. Yeah, here's what I lost with the Metro plane, won by Mario D, but I only bet 50 because I wasn't sure. Deca Police I lost. Oh yeah, I won that one. Dragon Quest they just returned that. There was no Tomodachi Life. What was that all about? Metal Gear Solid 3 remake. Oh, that was the last thing with the Sony one. Oh my god, this one I lost install base bucks on that goddamn Bayonetta Origins thing because of Televisor 3, which didn't release when I thought it was going to release, and that's why if Televisor 3 had released, then Bayonetta Origins would not have got into the top 10, and I would have won install base bucks, but I lost install base bucks, Mario.
That's just the state of the top 30 when third parties don't, like the big third parties don't support the biggest platform, and
well, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about this week's top 30, right? We're going to briefly go through that and look at the hardware. We'll do that first. We'll get that out of the way, and then we'll go in and talk about everything else. Let me have a look at the chat. Say hello to everyone. Where's the chat? I'm sorry, I've been attentive. Marcy says, "Oh my God, what? I don't know what you're referring to." Because Mario named install base. I didn't know this. He named install base. Welcome, Mousy. Hey, it's RJH, Game Killer, Johannes, J2, Dank. Welcome everybody. And Streamlabs bot, which I know the Streamlabs bot is does this thing kind of often. Yeah, he named install base. Can you believe it? I actually didn't know that. Can you hear the Mario music softly in the background? If my volume is too low versus Mario, please let me know, because like when I listened back to the last stream, I sounded really low and I was annoyed actually. I felt like I sounded really low against the music. Hang on, you might hear bits. Raise my gain slightly so I don't sound like.
Sounds like there's a fan in the background or something.
There is. I apologise about the fan because there is a fan. The Mario music isn't playing. Oh, can you hear it? Or can you not hear it? It's probably really low. I turned it down.
The music?
Yeah, I turned down the music. It is playing. It's here. It's just really low because when I turn it up, I can hear it loud. Unless I turn it down on. Because I don't have stuff on separate channels, right? Because I'm not like a professional podcaster who knows how to do all that crap. So that's why. And if I turn it up loud here, unfortunately it's loud in my ears. And if I turn down my volume on the mic, and it turns Mario down. So I'm a dummy. You're just picking it up more.
We'll manage.
Yeah. You can hear the fan.
Not too bad.
It's just so hot, man. Like I'm gonna die without this fan. It's either fan or no show. Those are the choices. Fan or no show. Alright, well, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. With some gentle Mario music, which, ironically, Mario can't hear.
Yeah.
Because I can't get it to play through on Discord without... There's ways to do it, but Like you got to use like this software that I can't figure out at the moment. So it's just kind of difficult. I just don't like
Yeah,
how loud I'm hearing this. It's bothersome.
okay, I'm a Mario fan. I've always got Mario music going on in my head.
In your head.
Yeah, it's just it's living rent free in my head.
Oh, rent free in your head. So let's talk about this week's sales, and then we're going to talk about the direct. So this week's sales, I have it here. In fact, we can look at the that one, not this one. What's it about? Crime, line, dance moves, Jim Ryan. What? Hang on, I just want to see what this is. Benji sells Jim Ryan. Oh, I'm pretty sure we will continue to see Call of Duty years come. I'm not complacent. I'd rather this hadn't happened, but we'll be okay, more than okay. Quite a different tone in 2022. Oh, it's so funny. Jim Ryan, yeah, Jim Ryan. Who anyway, you know how I feel about Jim Ryan.
He's a good actor.
I don't even think he's acting. I think he's just a corporate. He's an executive. He's doing what he needs to do for the. He's doing what he needs to do. Where's this? Okay. The 2 new releases this week only. One, which is Front Mission 1 First Remake, which had been available digitally for ages, to my understanding. So that's why the performance wasn't that great. It only sold like 4.8 thousand. But apparently it'd been available digitally for the best part of a year. So clearly, like, a lot of people already bought it. And then the other remake, second Hakuroki Sweet School Life for Nintendo Switch. Well, that to me, that name implies, if it's called that for Nintendo Switch, that it's like a re-release. I don't know what this game is. It's some otome game that I've never heard of. I don't know what it is. Do you know, Mario DK, what that is?
No, but I think something that, rather than the titles themselves, I think it's a really good representation of the fact that even in like slow weeks, basically only the Switch has these smaller titles that actually chart.
True.
And they're not really releasing on PlayStation. So these are the titles that, in between the big releases, at least someone out there has something to play or to look forward to. And PlayStation, all they have is the big hits, kind of like a Wii U or a GameCube. So
yeah, so we see a lot of those type of titles, just even when there is a PlayStation version, they just don't chart. So some of the really small things like these otome games, a lot of them they don't often. I think it's probably over 50% of them you just end up don't seeing on PlayStation. They seem to have all moved over to Switch, but you can understand for that style of game, right?
Yeah, and I don't think that like if a title releases multi-plat and like let's say first week or the split is in favor of PlayStation, I don't think that's something to be proud of, because the Switch is the entire gaming market basically in Japan. So if you've got a title that comes out and is doing relatively well compared to the Switch release, it's more because your title just appeals to like the otaku or like the very hardcore consumer base, and it basically flopped or didn't really interest or appeal to the mass market. So it's not the audience's fault, because again, it's like 90% of the market. So it says more about what type of game it is than like, oh, it's like really good for PlayStation,
Yeah, exactly.
If that makes sense.
I'll be honest, like, I need you to repeat the song that he's getting to me. So say it again.
Well, because people like, I don't know, like running derby or no, maybe like Atelier, one of the, like all these Atelier games that come out and the split is usually like 50-50, and they're like, wow, actually PlayStation's still doing really good. They should keep this SKU.
It wasn't like that before though. Those Atelier games, first of all, they didn't used to release on Nintendo platforms, apart from a couple on the DS, right? And then when they started putting them on Switch, where they did the collections and stuff, they did it the right way. They did the collections and stuff like that. the split was like way more PlayStation. It's only now where it's like 50. It wasn't like that before. Now I agree they should not drop the PlayStation SKUs versus Atelier games because they still sell 50. Oh, you know, you still got 50% of the sales on there. Don't drop this. Nobody's that. I mean, I've never said they should drop. It's only when it's like a really small, like niche game that's where where they're making a physical version that doesn't even chart PlayStation. Then at that point it's like, yeah, maybe don't make one. But
well, that's my point. What I try to tell other people is like, that just says how niche your game is. If it performs comparatively better on PlayStation, it's not a good thing, because that PlayStation base, the install base that's left in Japan, is so hardcore.
They're hardcore.
Focused.
So this is the thing, right?
Like, it's not a good thing. It's not something like, the real thing you should look at is something like Doraemon Story of Seasons, which did like okay on Switch, but it just
they didn't chart. They bombed on So that's what's happened with. I think people don't realize this is that the makeup of the people, like you said, like the people that are getting PlayStations now. In Japan it used to be like a general casual audience. That's not That's not happening anymore. It's like just people that are hardcore, like really hardcore gamers. And that's fine. You obviously you want hardcore gamers as well, but in order to get like higher volume of sales, you need a bit more casual people as well, and that is not happening. And in fact, it's like I mean I've said this before, Mario DK. I feel like there was like a tipping point. There was a tipping point in Japan where enough of the games, the third-party games that people wanted, because don't forget it's mainly AA games is the majority of the market there, right? Enough of those games were multi-plat also on Switch, and the Switch has all the Nintendo games now, and now has everything, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, everything all on one console. Enough of the stuff was there that people just like, well, we're just gonna get it on. That's what we want, Switch, and it just had this kind of like cascading effect where it just went so far over one way that it's really hard for it to go back now, even when these games are coming out of multiple. When you even seen it happen with something like Atelier, which literally just a few years ago was like the split, like when they did start, when they were releasing them on Switch, like it was overwhelmingly PlayStation. For that to happen even with like something like Atelier is, you know, it really tells you like the state of the market now.
I really think how well a game performs on PlayStation is frankly irrelevant, because it's literally like 10% of the market.
It's like at most, like in 2022, going by the Media Create Top 1000 for 2022. Bear in mind we're 6 months removed from that now. That it was 15%. It's less than that now.
15.
So this is what I'm saying about Atlus. Basically, with them not supporting the Switch, basically means that like it's not so over dramatic, but I feel like they're about to get level 5 in Japan. Like,
it's like they just. I think in some ways it is too much work because of how small they are, but it's like.
No. And Atlus does not have that excuse. They are bankrolled by a mega corporation called Sega Sammy, right? And as I said before, they are autonomous within Sega Sammy. They're not even under. They're in their own separate thing. They're not even under Sega. So Sega as we know it, they're not under Sega. They are directly under Sega Sammy. Because me and Jago looked this up a couple of weeks ago. Because I said, oh no, they're autonomous and all of this. And then we actually looked it up, looked on the website, looked through all the things. They are directly under Sega Sammy. They're their own thing. They're bankrolled by Sega Sammy. They don't have any excuse. Now, it could be the case that Atlus, either they think their sales, as I said before, I don't think they think their sales are in Japan are going to be affected. I don't think they think any of their sales are going to be effective, otherwise they would do something different. So either they don't think their sales are going to be affected, or they know and they don't care. It's either one or the two, and I think purely the reason they don't want to, they're not supporting the Switch because they don't want to. Like that's what it comes down to.
Well, I think it's interesting that I said this before, but in the past, Atlus specifically ported the original Persona 3 to PSP. They squeezed it down on there. They did they made all these bespoke elements, like how the overworld is like
Like
this point and click thing, and they got rid of the cutscenes. They made the character models less detailed. Like, they did a lot of extra work to squeeze it onto the PSP. But now you have the new remake, and it should be easier to put it on Switch because Unreal Engine is already supported on there. It's not that graphically intensive. They already did SMT5. So they did the work. They were willing to do the legwork for PSP, but not for Switch. And I find that it was actually more common for both the PSP and the Vita to get support compared to like the DS or the 3DS. I mean, DS made sense because it only had the D-pad and not that many buttons, but for like the 3DS to not get certain games when it was way outperforming the Vita, like I do think there is like a sense of like either loyalty or they don't want to like fully support Nintendo.
The thing is that the 3DS had a lot of support. They gave the 3DS probably more support than they even gave PlayStation during that period. So
3DS should have gotten like Persona 4 Golden or Persona 3 Portable. Like
probably.
They ported all the SMP games, but not onto the actually well-selling system. Instead, they did like Persona Q or whatever.
Well, that boils down to Atlas with this old mindset. Like I said, they run their company like it's still 2005. But basically, when they started these franchises, the whole reason why there's even a Persona, why that exists, right? And this is I discovered this via what was his face now? God, my mind's gone blank. The really hardcore Atlas content creator. What's he called? What's his name? My mind's gone blank. He does the Did You Know Tensei videos. I'm sorry, it's so hot. I can't. Anyway, I watched his live stream and everything, and basically he was reading out an interview with like one of the original founders of Atlas, and it was basically like the way it was back then was like when you were developing for different systems, they were literally completely separate. There was not like now it's LaRue, thank you. Oh my god. LaRue, please don't Chris, I love you, LaRue. I love you. I just can't. It's hot. I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, LaRue. Yes, that's what. Yeah. LaRue's awesome, by the way. Go and check out his content. Yeah. Basically, I watched one of his live streams. And like he was reading out this interview, and yeah, basically the systems back then were completely separate. You developed for this for one system and this for that system. There wasn't like crossover like x86 and all this that there is now. It was completely separate. And back then they had mainline SMT was on Nintendo, right? Then they made one for Sega, the Sega was the Saturn at the time, right? Sega Saturn. They got Devil Summoner, right? And the then president of PlayStation went to Atlas and said, hey, can you, not like we're gonna pay you, just like a handshake thing, hey, can you make an SMT for PlayStation consoles as well, right? So they're like, okay, yeah, we'll make one. So they took the basis of SMT If, which was kind of like a Persona prototype almost, and then they made Persona for PlayStation consoles. It was obviously SMT spin-off. That's how that happened. It was like just a handshake agreement. Oh yeah, we're putting that on there. That's why they kept them separate for years, just because like they decided that they're on separate consoles. They just had that same thing, but same mindset from when they originally did it. So something like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course.
It sounds like Final Fantasy back in the day, like where they could put Crystal Chronicles, but they could put like Sony was like, okay, you can put Final Fantasy or whatever on Nintendo or support them, but we get the real Final Fantasy.
The difference is that like with that it was more like Sony had like published agreements and stuff like that. They published like some of the
Yeah, it's different because they were also they had an ownership stake in them. So
right.
It is different, but
so it was different.
Similar.
With Atlas, it was literally a business meeting handshake. Oh, can you make an SMT for PlayStation? It was like that. There wasn't like any like publishing agreements. And Sony's never published an Atlas game.
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. If I'm wrong, correct me, please. But not to my knowledge, anyway.
Yeah.
So it was that basically. So they still have that kind of mindset. Now we can get into that, but I really let's get into this hard. Let's quickly talk about these sales, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to summarize it. Welcome Chrono Rig. You're Rigero from Twitter, right? You've got like this beans on toast or whatever avatar, was it with a pizza? I don't know what that is. Hates RJ says, I gave up on Atlas when it comes to common sense. Yeah, I don't know why people had. I know, like, some people David cast JRPGs. I know he was hoping Atlas was going to have some sense, but I just was like, no, I just don't think they are going to. SMT was PS2 originally. Yes, I'm aware SMT was originally on PS2. The main reason for that is because the GameCube flopped. So they made it for PS2, which, like I said, at the time the systems were completely separate. Like, it wasn't like there was like loads of there were multi-platform games, but like it is different to it is now. So if the GameCube hadn't have flopped, maybe that would have been on the GameCube, but it did, so they put it on the PS2. So that's why, I mean, if you think about it, why did they make, SMT 1, 2, IF, and all of these on Nintendo? Then they put SMT 3 on PlayStation 2, and then they put SMT 4 and 4 Apocalypse and Strange Journey and all of this on DS and 3DS. It doesn't even make any sense, right? I know nothing about this makes sense. I'm just saying, I think that's because the GameCube flopped, basically.
No, that's true. It's the same way. Same thing where, like, Resident Evil was going to be GameCube exclusive, but it flopped so bad that they
it flopped. GameCube flopped, so they kind of had to do that. So it's just understandable. Because of the PlayStation 2 had an absolutely massive install base. It's like one time when Alice made a business decision that made sense. Oh yeah, let's put this game on the biggest install base. And don't forget, these games all came out in Japan first. Let's put it on the platform with the biggest install base in Japan. That makes sense. Let's not put it on the one that's flopping. But they're literally doing the reverse of that now. It's literally the reverse of that situation. It's like what they're doing now is like if they had decided to make SMT3 exclusive to the GameCube. Is what they're doing now. Which you're like, well, that's nonsensical. That's what they're doing. That's what they decided to do because they do not want to put the game to Switch. Now, it also means that, as far as you know, there are no internally developed games in development for or Atlas by the internal studios in development for Nintendo Switch, and there's probably going to be no more games or no support for Nintendo Switch for the rest of its life, because we know that Tactica game's coming out, but that game, I don't think it was developed by Atlas internally. Not sure about the studio yet. So there's that, and unfortunately for that game, it is now releasing the same day as Super Mario RPG. So good luck. That game is going to get stomped on. Unfortunately, like literally Goomba stomped. Unfortunately. And then after that, there's probably nothing. There might be an odd, like, maybe an old 3DS put. Maybe they'll do more of those Etrian Odyssey games. But it wouldn't surprise me if, like, even if that new Etrian Odyssey is in development, which people are not 100% sure if it is, they're not even going to bother putting that on Switch. SMT6 probably not going to be on Nintendo console unless Nintendo pays for it, which they probably won't.
Yeah.
Nintendo. This is the thing. Nintendo's fine with it. They don't need that support. It's Atlas, and in Japan, like they're gonna. It's at this point, Mario DK. I don't know about what you think. It's like literally just mathematics. It's mathematics. They cannot physically sell the same amount of games that they used to sell. It's just physically impossible because the install base is too small.
It would be like if they didn't support the PS2.
It's like that. It's like that. It's literally that situation.
Yeah.
So
they feel like they have to save the PlayStation in Japan.
There's some of that going on.
That back in the early PS4 days, they were like.
They said that. Mario DK, I want evidence of that. Please find that quote. Whilst you're doing that, I don't know if you're sitting at a PC or whatever, but if you could find that quote, that would be great. We're going to go through these sales, okay? Because this week, almost everything, I don't know if you noticed this, everything's down. Like all these software sales, like almost everything is down. Like everything dropped, apart from Ring Fit Adventure. Ring Fit Adventure's up 16%. Everything else is hella down. Now there were some new releases that are now second or third week now. Street Fighter 6 was out 3 weeks ago or something like that, and then Diablo 4 is its second week. It's second week, right? It came out last. Oh, it was last week. So everything is hella down. So at the top we have the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's all 31,000, but it's still down. Actually, I'll use this one because you can see the nice handy graphic. Nice graphic. And I can even, bam, get a translation. You know what it, you don't even need this translation, you can see what it is. So I got my nice Chili's bottle with some Monster Energy drink in there, so it's nice and cold. This insulated bottle that I have. And if my voice sounds croaky, I've probably explained this, but for those who don't know, I have a condition called Sjogren's syndrome, and that's why my voice is croaky and cracks. So
sounds fine to me.
I can hear it's. I can see it's cracking. One sec. I need to use this spray at her. Hopefully you didn't hear that. Okay, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is top, but is like hella down on last week. So if we look back at Niche Barrier, we see it's down 33%. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario's namesake, because he's called Mario Kart, because I always call you that by mistake. That's number 2 at 7.4 thousand. Minecraft is at number 3, 5.7 thousand. Switch Sports is at number 4 with 5.5 thousand. Now we have number 5, Diablo 4.
Standard drop.
Standard drop. Let's see what was the drop. Let me have a look.
80%.
Was it 80%?
Yeah, it says if you go to the first page on the Media Crate thread,
It's on there.
Chris adds the drops and the top
Okay.
30.
Here it says 76%. So they put 80%? I don't know.
For PS5, I'm seeing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
14.
PS5. No, you're right. Yeah, it's 80%. Yeah, 80% drop for Diablo 4. And oh, do you know what's so interesting? When I was out yesterday, I saw this giant mural painted on a side of a building of Diablo. I don't know if I can show. I posted it in this waiting room chat. Or where did I put it? Not the waiting room chat, the pre-show chat.
Did it have Xbox advertising?
No, it didn't have anything on it. It just had the PEGI rating. It was literally just a mural on a wall. Hang on a sec, let me find that post.
Maybe Microsoft only paid for advertising in the US, I guess.
Yeah, because they have some. God, where is
Or
this
it's just
thing?
it's just the bundle, I guess. I don't know.
They have some marketing rights. Hang on, I'm gonna show it on the screen here. Just 1 second though. I need to get this connected up. Hang on. Discord. Is it this one? This one. Alright, so can you see this? No? Wait, not yet. Hang on. It's like on top of the screen, right? It's on top. I know it's on top of everything and it looks all misaligned. Apologies, I'm not a professional streamer. Yeah, so look, hang on, let me show you this. So I was. Oh no, it's really small. Can I make it bigger? How do I make it bigger? I don't know. Open in browser. Okay, so I was walking and they had this big mural for Diablo 4 on the side of a building. It looked like the whole side of the building. And in the corner it's like the PEGI rating here, but it didn't say anything about Xbox on it. If you look on the stream, Mario, you'll see it. Or it's on the Discord pre-show chat.
Oh.
But yeah, it's here. It's enormous. It's like a big painting of Lilith, and what I said was I don't know if you didn't already know what Diablo was, I don't know how you would know that this is for a video game, because there's nothing on there that's like this is a game. It's just Diablo 4. But if you don't already know what Diablo is, then I don't know, man. Then how do you know what this is? I think this is for people that already. I like the way they did it. It looks like she's busting through all the windows are like are busted up. like they've painted this on because those windows aren't there.
It's a nice piece of art.
It's nice, right? And close, when I was standing next to it, it did look like it was actually painted on. Now they must have used the guides to get it like that, right? But it looks really good. Oh wait, hang on, you can't see it on the thing. Hang on a sec. I'll show you the bigger one. Hold on. Oh, it looks the same. It looks the same size anyway. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just watching it on the YouTube stream.
I tried to make it bigger for you all to see, but anyway, look, I've got the other one. I went a little bit closer to it. Oh, damn it! You can't see it. Hang on, I'll open it in browser as well. I'll show you in the browser in a sec. Hang on. Yeah, I tried to get closer to it. And it really did look like it's actually painted. And then in the corner, there was like a Peggy rating. Hang on. Where is it? I could see a Peggy rating in the corner.
No, that's funny.
So look, can you see how big this? Look at the size of that van.
Yeah.
So you can see how big it is. Hang on, let's show you on the.
It's probably a legal requirement.
That's what I was thinking. It's like a legal thing. So here's on here. Look at the Peggy. the Peggy rating. That's the only thing.
It's so far in the corner though. I don't even know.
Exactly. I just know because I recognise the Peggy ratings, right? And I know.
Yeah.
I obviously know what Diablo is. But I'm like, if you didn't already know, if you wasn't already aware of Diablo,
it's like a random 18, or it's just like something like some information on the building for like whatever other purpose.
Yeah, it could be just like for the, I don't know. So that must be a legal thing that they put that there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was truly enormous because that is a normal human-sized van there. So yeah, they paint the entire side. It's like 4 stories high. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I don't think they did anything like that in Japan.
Yeah, so they went all out for this mural. I thought it was really cool. I was just walking back and I saw that. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. So that's cool. But yeah, I think it's like you have to kind of be in the know to know what this.
Yeah.
I think you're advertising to people that already know about Diablo and are already gamers, not people who don't know what it is.
It's just to let people know it's out, because there's even like, I would say there's Diablo fans or like casual fans of the franchise that like
I'll be aware of it.
They don't follow gaming news, so they just see Diablo 4 and like, oh, it's out, or like, so now they know about it. So.
It's definitely, because it was so enormous, it definitely makes you stop. And where they placed it on the route from coming out from a station, right? So you have to go past this. You can see it. You can just see it.
Yeah.
Because it looks like it's on an empty street, but like this is on the way. Oh God, I'm showing the wrong thing. This is on the way back. It's on the route from a station, the tube station. So like you kind of have to go past it. Or it catches your eye because it's like it literally is absolutely enormous. But yeah, I thought that's I'm really distracted talking about this mural, but I thought it was so cool. So okay, let's.
Yeah, in Japan it just had a pretty standard drop, I would say.
Yeah, it's like 80%. Like that's normally what you see with like RPGs normally drop that much. If it's something that's more like a multiplayer game, it might not drop as much, but like RPGs certainly go down that much. So that for the PS5 version, yeah, I can see that.
Do you want to go through the rest of the top 30 like one by one, or?
I'm not going to go through everything because that would take too long. That would take too long. So I'm just going to go through them. Hayes RJ said, I just want to read this quickly. I think the reason SMT games were DS games was because it was a time Atlas was a small company while they were still somewhat small. Same as for Falcom, but then it's sort of like, okay, but then why didn't Falcom put their games on like DS or 3DS or anything? They didn't. I don't know if that really works. And Atlas were under a bigger company at that time as well.
Yeah.
They weren't an independent company.
Japanese companies move slow in general, and Japan, like admitting that you're wrong is like that's a huge monumental task. Like just releasing these games on another platform would be like admitting like, oh, we were wrong. I think that's why it's harder for them to do it as opposed to the West. They're just like, yeah, just farm it out to some
Well,
company.
maybe, but then like Falcom literally had their shareholders saying, what are you doing? What's going on? Like your games are flopping. Why?
But then you have like Square Enix not putting Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on Switch because.
But you know why that
Nomura
is?
was
That is
Nomura
because
was like, we couldn't put 3. It had to be the full collection. It's like
that is
that's the
because
stupidest-
Square
the
Enix is an
stupidest thing
L
ever.
company. That's the reason.
But that's
Because they're an L
that's
company.
my point. Is like all these companies, they'll have some either made up reason or some like stupid excuse. So, in the end, I think they're all like generally they're just slower to act. Like even Nintendo, they were slow to act on.
Oh yeah, Nintendo was super slow. But you know what?
Yeah.
Atlas was, even when it comes, especially when it comes to like HD development and everything, Atlas is the slowest of any company. Slower than
Yeah.
Nintendo, were the slowest ones to get to HD development. And then they
Yeah.
started doing it. But yeah, unfortunately for Atlas, like I don't know, man. Their future in Japan is, but like I said, maybe they don't care. Maybe they know that they. I'm not saying either they don't think that their game sales are going to drop, or they know and they don't care, because it's like they were planning to make these games, Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor, Refantasy. They were making those de facto PlayStation exclusives anyway. There was no deal with PlayStation with making them. They were making them. There was a Falcon thing. They're de facto exclusives. If they had any type of deal with PlayStation, Microsoft wouldn't have been able to walk into with a bag and say we'll put them on Xbox, right? Because they can't do that with Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy 16.
The biggest thing I think for them was like actually just PC support, which I think was more of a like Sega initiative, and then Xbox, like you said, only happened because Microsoft walked up with a bag.
With a bag. So they were planning to make these games just PlayStation exclusive. No, there was never going to be any Switch versions. Now we don't know what's going on internally and all of this, but we know that much is obvious.
Yeah.
So now we just what we know about the market is just literally impossible. It's physically impossible for any of their games to even like I've got it. I'm like it's coming up. It's happening. Where is it? What did I do with it? Oh no, I've lost it. Wait, hang on. Wait. Right. Now it is impossible, I think, for any of their games to sell more than this game right here, called Kirby's Return Dreamland Deluxe.
No.
Yes, Mario DK.
I have to bring it up.
I have to. Yes. Listen, I'll put money on it. Persona 3 Reload will not outsell this game in the first week.
Oh no, it won't. Here's what we should call it. It's the Kirby Deluxe Bar.
I called it I was calling it the Kirby Barrier, but you can
The Kirby Barrier.
the Kirby
Yeah.
Barrier. I got it from Niche Barrier. It's not going to get past. It's impossible. Now, Persona games in the past did easily outsell this, right? Even Persona 5 Royal, right, was over 200,000 first week. And that was a re-release with added content. That was over 200,000. Just how many years ago? It was 2019. Was it 2019? 2018? Was it 2019? I think it was 2019. End of 2019. They were able to sell. That was at the peak. As I discussed in the last show, that was at the peak of the PlayStation 4. PlayStation had like was it 35 to 40% market share back then? And their sales have atrophied every year to the point where we're at now, where stuff has hard time charting, and when it does chart, it's there and then it drops down really quickly. So there's zero chance Persona 3 Reload is going to outsell Kirby's Old Ass Weeple. It's literally impossible. Mario DK. It just can't. And like Persona 5, when that first released on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 3 version, it was almost 350,000 first week. Did you know that? It was 350,000 first week. A brand new Persona 6 releasing it now is not going to sell that.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I feel the one I feel the worst about is the metaphor,
Metaphor.
because that's a new IP.
Yeah, that is. We'll see. I don't want to talk about like next gen Switch stuff because I don't want to like derail.
But this is the thing, right? Even if they're planning to release, we don't know that they're releasing that on a next Nintendo hardware. Even if they are, it's irrelevant, Mario DK, in my opinion, because that new hardware has an install base of 0. Right? It has an install base of 0. Switch has an install base of almost 30 million. Was it almost? Is it 30 million or near 30 million? That's the problem. Like, by the time that comes out, it doesn't matter. It's going to be an install base of 0.
Yeah, I mean, to sum up the Atlas stuff, I think if they were still independent, you would see pretty much everything be PS4 exclusive still, and like.
I think they would probably be more if they were completely independent. They would probably be forced to.
I think Royal would still be exclusive to like PS4, and you just have the spin-offs like Strikers or Tactica or whatever.
Yeah, because even if they're planning to release like do late ports, I mean at that point, we've seen the late port situation. You kind of end up missing the boat with all the initial marketing and stuff like that. Also, the other thing we don't know, and I don't think there is, but if we don't know if that there's going to be Xbox exclusive marketing. I don't think there is.
I don't think in Japan, because the TV commercial they did, like
it had all the platforms.
The game is still half a year out, so I think it was something like, hey, just if you put out it was kind of like, okay, when PlayStation, when Final Fantasy VII was announced for PS1, like PlayStation, the first PlayStation, they made a whole commercial like showing it in development. Like they made an announcement like it is in development for PlayStation 1, and it was still like half a year or a year away. So I think it's similar to that. Like, hey, just make a big announcement. Yes, it's on Xbox, but after that, you can do multi-plat advertising in Japan. I think Atlas doesn't care too much, or Sega, about multi-plat advertising in the West, because there's PC and Xbox, so that'll make up a decent chunk of sales. But I think, like, what was it, like Persona 3 and 4 when they were coming out, they didn't have Xbox exclusive marketing in Japan.
They didn't. Well, they didn't have almost any marketing for those ones. But yeah, the commercial that aired in Japan was apparently a one-off commercial. That's why I'm like, when they haven't got into the main marketing yet, because the game's like half a year or more away. Like when they do, will it have? Now I don't think it will, but if it did, that would, not in Japan, that would be very, 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 very bad. So I don't think it has that. But we respect.
To be frank, I don't care. To be honest, like I'm kind of done with Atlas. Like I didn't care as much. Like when I didn't see 3 Reload, I was like, okay, that's whatever. I mean,
yeah, well,
that's gonna hurt Atlas more than it hurts.
But it's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt Nintendo at all. That's the thing. Yeah. It's literally gonna make no difference. There's loads of games that don't release on Switch, like tons that don't release on Switch, and Switch is still being a massive, giant, colossal success. It's only gonna hurt Atlas because, just literally, it's just like they're just not gonna get sales that they enjoyed before, and the problem is that the landscape of the audience of this game, like a lot of people moving over to Switch is what's happened. But it depends. Like I said, maybe they don't care about their presence in Japan anymore. That could be the case.
Yeah, I think it's just Sega. Like, so, anyways, I got to get going to work in like half an hour. So, is it okay if we move on to like quickly discuss the hardware?
Sure.
If we're not, yeah.
So the hardware, I'd like to know what you think about this, Mario DK. Where's the goddamn thing now?
I think it's really interesting that PS5 sales increased and then
yeah.
But the software dropped like a rock. It went from 38,000 software last week to like 10,000 this week.
So we see this is a regular occurrence that we see with the hardware selling like this, and then like because we had new releases last week. So Diablo 4 was what pushed
Yeah.
the software up. That drops down, and then nothing else comes back up. Well, last week there was a couple of games that got into the top 30 via that Days of Play thing offer.
Yeah.
So I think Death Stranding was there and something else.
Yeah, and then the sales stopped, and then everything just dropped like a rock.
And then it just drops. So this week, Switch is down from it was 104,000 last week. This week is 81,000, which
Yeah.
is still the best week. What are we in, week 25? Oh, but yeah, it's the best week 25 ever, and last week was the best week 24 ever.
Yeah, and it still has a normal attach rate, right? You got like 80,000 hardware, but 104,000 software. So even though it's weird for Switch, you know, maybe to like even be this high in general, at least like the numbers make sense. Like at least one person, like every person who buys a Switch is getting at least one game.
Yes,
So with the PS5,
that's not happening.
I think it's like the PS5 base is so hardcore that it's like this 8,000 increase you see from last week. It's purely people that are whoever's hyped for FF16.
For 16.
And even then, it's not that much. Like, it's just an 8,000 increase.
Yeah,
And
so we see that increase, and it's made. It was interesting. The increase is all on the regular disc version. If you look at the thing, the digital edition,
Yeah.
has barely increased. It's all
It dropped.
the regular. Yeah, actually it dropped. It's all on the disc version. So we see the disc set version also always consistently sells the most, but then it's gone up this much to 46,000, almost 47,000, and the software just drops down. So it is this bizarre situation that a lot of people, we're trying to figure it out. People float out, oh, the people playing free-to-play games, it's all PS Plus, it's all... It's just like really? Are people buying
I
brand
mean,
new?
even if that's true, it still doesn't change the awful software sales. Like,
That's
both
true.
Both can be true.
That can be true, and the
Like
software sales is...
every explanation that you can come up with, at the end of the day, the sales are still awful. Like they're not the games that are being bought are like just the big heavy hitters, and
Basically.
you only have so many of those a year. I mean, like this year, what you had Hogwarts, you had Resident Evil, like Wild Hearts flopped, and Wolfenstein did okay, I guess. SF6 is doing better than 5 because it's actually a great game. And then you've got FF16, but that'll do whatever it does, and then it'll fall off the charts.
What do you think SF16 will do first week?
I think somewhere between like 200,000 to 300,000.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Because like I sent you that the project I was working on with like
Yes.
tracking the weekly top 30 attach rate.
Yes.
And like you see, like there's peaks and valleys. You know, the peaks are when like software comes out, and
Yes.
the valleys are when there's nothing. Like the peaks aren't what's important. It's like what comes after, and like what the valleys are. Because frequently, when there's nothing big coming after PS5, usually it's like close to 0, or if not 0 attach rate, which is like,
Yeah. But unfortunately, we have seen that a lot.
it's like the PS5 the install base is like the hardcore of the hardcore. Even PS4 wasn't this bad. Like I've been tracking PS4 too and comparing.
PS4 is way
the
better.
The PS4 had higher peaks and higher valleys. So you know, it wasn't like a healthy system, but you know, at least it was more consistent. But with PS5, it's like everything is lower. Like the peaks are lower, the valleys are lower.
Yes.
So that tells you how bad it is.
Yeah. So 200,000 to 300,000 is a reasonable estimate, because we have to account for the fact there's going to be these bundles as well. Which I don't know about you, Mario DK, I don't think it's going to add like a crazy amount, but I think it possibly might add like 10,000, 20,000 or something like that. That's what I was thinking anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like, it's a bundle, but it's not like a discounted bundle. It's like, it comes with the game.
It's not, yeah, so the thing is, it's not a discounted bundle, It's just like you're getting the console with the game, and also it's not a special console. Like I know they had they made the plates and the control and everything. They should have made that into a special console. To way more people would have bought it then. Fortunately, it's just a regular, box standard PS5. You can get the disc version and the digital version, and it has a digital copy of the game, even if you get the disc one.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah.
the thing is with FF16, it's like, so we had the reviews come out, and it's 88, which is pretty great. It's
Yeah.
like, I think it's about the same as 7 Remake. If I'm not wrong.
7 Remake was like an 89. I think
Yeah,
it
I
was
think-
80. It was 89, wasn't it? I just looked it up a little while. We just was looking at that earlier.
Yeah, I think it's 88, 89. So it's about the same. Not that that's bad, but like for being the
Where'd it go?
such a departure that it is in terms of the style, and not in, like, when I say style, I mean like in almost every aspect, like tone, storytelling, characters, like combat.
Yeah.
So for those kind of games, it's better to have a higher meta score, because then it's like it can convince people that were on the fence. But ultimately in Japan, this is like a single player action long RPG.
Yeah, it's an action RPG. I did see the reviews are really good. I did see a couple of people bemoan that they just felt like there wasn't as many RPG elements as they would have
the
liked.
RPG elements are like kind of shallow apparently, and
Right. So
some
maybe
of it,
that,
it's like it's pretty linear. And people said like it's kind of like a bit outdated in terms of like side quest design.
okay.
It's kind of like you go from linear, kind of more like corridor areas, and you just do combat. It's not as linear as 13, it seems, but and then some people even said like there's a lot of enemy reuse, and the combat isn't that deep because like the RPG elements aren't too like varied, so
Right.
it can kind of wear thin after a while. So it's
So maybe
still going to be a great game, but I mean, Elden Ring, which is like a game of the generation kind of game, didn't do anything for PS5 or PlayStation. So I don't see any reason why.
Well, the thing is with Elden Ring is that think about that. Elden Ring released over a year ago, right? And Elden Ring sold like it was like something like almost 300. Was it 280,000, 300,000 physical? It was a
Yeah,
lot.
something like.
It was a lot. And then we got from Bandai Namco that digital was high because a lot sold on the PC as well. So there was actually a lot of PC sales for that game. Those games tend to skew more towards PC,
Yeah, and the PC is even more hardcore.
and the PC is like
PC
well more
in
hardcore.
PC in Japan specifically. That's like.
Oh yeah. PC in Japan is like is hardcore, completely hardcore
Yeah.
gamers. It's not casual gamers really. I've
No.
I've actually kind of noticed that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people, casual gamers on PC in Japan. So that game over a year ago was able to get sales that high, but I think if Elden Ring was to release, the same game was to release now, it would still sell it would sell less than that now, just because of what's happened. The PS4 software sales in Japan are crashing really fast,
Yeah.
and PS5 software sales not making up to it. So someone just messaged saying, what was that? Oh yeah, FF7R on PS4 is 87, integrated is 89. So it's higher than FF7 and higher than every recent Final Fantasy games. I brought them up here. Final Fantasy 15 was 81. Final Fantasy 14, and we have to go by the original release 1.0, was a 49 when it first released. It was on PC. And then Final Fantasy 13 was an 83. So it's the best reviewing Final Fantasy game in quite a long time. Brand new main line, is what I mean.
So we'll see with 16. It's not going to be some savior for PlayStation 5 in Japan, especially since it's PS5 exclusive. I think
if there had been a PS4 version, like we'd maybe be having a slightly different conversation. The lack of the PS4 version is one of many issues, but it just adds to that, and I think the sales being at like we're estimating 200 to 300,000, like is like atrocious for Final Fantasy, because the last two big Final Fantasy games that we saw, Final Fantasy VII Remake, 700,000. Was this?
I mean, those games didn't help PS4, and I think the bigger problem with 7 Remake is that it's like it's like part one of a 3-part series. So
part one, but I think that
I think that's why the legs are so bad.
Yeah, the legs for that game just dropped off a cliff.
Because imagine like you weren't watching like all these interviews and things with Nomura and Kase, and you just go like, oh my god, 7 Remake, I love that game, and then
you didn't realize it was like multi-part.
It's different, and there's stuff that's changed. There's a lot of padding, and then you finish it, and it's like, wait, where's the rest of the game?
I don't know. You would have had to have been on media blackout to not realise it was a part one of many, because they did say that a lot.
They do, but like I just don't think most people like are like reading interviews.
That's true. There's a lot of people that are not following gaming news and might not be aware of some certain things.
Yeah.
But then, so anyway, my point was just that Final Fantasy VII Remake and 15 were both like around 700,000 first week, and for Final Fantasy 16 to do half of that would be pretty atrocious.
And even if they were really clear with the marketing, that would turn off people too. It's like, wait, it's just Midgard? Like, you're not gonna do like if you watch the footage or the commercials or the trailers, you're like, where's the golden saucer, or where's like you know, the part in the game where you get the airship, or like where's Yuffie. Like, even if you're like semi-casual, you would realize like, wait, there's like a lot of stuff that's not here.
Yeah.
Maybe you're like wait and see, and then your friend or whoever plays it, and they're like, yeah, it stopped at Midgard. Oh, that sucks. I'm not gonna do it. So
maybe that's why legs kind of dropped off for that
yeah,
game.
It's like if it was a full remake of 7, like less, I guess, ambitious and like more a full product, I think it would run a lot better. Because it was 5 million, like as of 2-3 years ago, and it's still at 5 million. Like,
well, that's the only figure that when they did an updated press release when it's still 5 million on it.
Yeah.
So that tells me it hasn't crossed 6 million.
Yeah.
Basically, is
so,
what it seems like.
You know, Final Fantasy is not a system seller. I mean, it is to a certain extent, but it's not like to a mass market. It's not like FF7, where it would launch with almost 2 million and then go on to sell 4 million.
So it used to be a huge system seller in Japan.
It used to be on the level of Dragon Quest.
It used to be in Japan. In Japan, it's not like that anymore. So it's kind of dropped off since the PS2 era, basically. Mario DK, I wanted to get your thoughts on these Xbox sales, hardware sales. What do you think? What do you feel about this, and what do you think's going on here? And I know there was a Diablo 4 bundle with the Series X.
Yeah.
So we saw 9,000 last week, and it was almost all that bundle. But this week it's kind of a 50-50. Series X and Series S.
Because I know, like, people say, like, oh, you can't look at the numbers in a vacuum. Like, you have to compare them and blah, blah, blah. It's like, at the end of the day, like, what? Xbox has, like, last week it was 8,000. This week it's, like, 1,500. I mean, you can, like, compare the split between Series S and X, but, like, we're just, like, arguing over peanuts, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the term in the UK would be, but, you know.
Well, I understand what you mean.
Yeah, I don't even think I got the American saying right, but it's like, yeah, this is, I want to say so what, and
small
cares,
potatoes.
But, yeah, small potatoes or whatever. It's like wow, you know, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't really have any.
Okay, well, there you go. That's about Xbox sales, which it caused an anomaly of Xbox game to chart 2 weeks in a row. But this is a bundled game, so Diablo 4 charted a game for the Xbox, which is here. You can see it's part of this bundle, and it was there last week as well. But it'll drop off. It'll be gone next week.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the real thing is the software, which is like non-existent. So until the software is meaningful, then it doesn't matter what the hardware sells.
Yeah, and I have a feeling some of these went abroad, honestly, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Mario DK, before you go, would you like to talk about the Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, I think like objectively it was like good, because you got like a 2D Mario game for the holiday. You got a remake of a classic. You got
Mm-hmm.
a real WarioWare game that's not
A
like
real
weird.
one? What was the
Yeah,
other
like,
one then, if it wasn't real?
the other one was like you control it with the control stick and you control characters, and it's like it's just kind of weird. But like usually in the WarioWare games, you have like a set control method. Like in the first one, you just press a button.
Oh
And
wait,
then
hold up.
Twisted, you just move the system. Or in WarioWare Touch on the DS, you just touch. So it's always consistent, but the games change, and it was just kind of weird the way they did it, and like, get it together. But this one seems more like the one on Wii, where it was just like, I don't know, I think it'll be just easier to get into. It's more like a classic traditional WarioWare. So it'll be like a good party casual game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got, actually I kind of think that's it. There's like Detective Pikachu. So
There's Detective Pikachu.
they have nothing. They have nothing in September, which I think is interesting. Nothing in August. Nothing in September. I think probably they'll do the pre-TGS direct in September. They'll shadow drop.
They might have the Splatoon DLC in one of those months because that
They'll
hasn't
have
been
that, and
announced.
They'll shadow drop another GameCube game or some kind of remaster.
I have here. I'm just playing on the screen the trailer for Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, it was like a weird direct. Like after it was done, I just felt like, even though it had great stuff, it was just weird. Like it started off with Pokemon DLC, and then the first 20 minutes was just like smaller third-party games and
Yeah, it wasn't
DLC.
that great.
But at the end of the day, that's just like it's just what they have. Like when you kind of step back, it's like they can make a show with what they have. And this kind of reminds me of like in the years when Nintendo was doing bad, like I think it was like 2015 or 16. Pokemon would be a part of their E3s. Like usually they do their own thing, but I think it was either E3 2015 or 16. They opened with Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Oh really?
Yeah, so they use that to like supplement their shows if they need it. So I think that's why at the first Pokemon Presents this year there was like nothing other than the just the DLC. It was just the DLC and nothing else. Like no Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, no other spin-offs.
Where are
So I
those
think
goddamn
Nintendo-
Pokemon Red and Blue? Where are they at? Why are they not on the Game Boy? What's it called?
I don't know. Game Freak is weird.
Game Freak is weird. So this Super Mario RPG, just playing the trailer here, is a pretty faithful remake. It looks like.
Yeah.
Um,
But what I want to say is this direct tells it was already pretty obvious because like if let's say a new system was coming out this year, and if it was coming in 6 months, there would be way more like smoke and chatter. But
there would be smoke. There'd be smoke and chat. There's no way we wouldn't have leaked out. And plus for their financial thing and their financial their last investors meeting.
yeah,
But their projection for the financial year was 15 million,
yeah,
which would be way
Well,
higher if they were launching a system this financial year.
yeah. So what I've tried to tell people is like if you follow the software like breadcrumb trail, their hardware like timing and that kind of stuff becomes more evident. So they're doing a 2D Mario this holiday, right? So they're not going to launch a new system with 2D Mario.
They've done it before.
They did it with the Wii U and it didn't do very well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, no, it didn't. Yeah, even though that's a big seller. Like anyway, the Wii U had a whole bunch of issues.
Yeah.
I think that personally, I think the new system's going to be like holiday 2024.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think next year, because if you look at like the teams, like there's nothing. Animal Crossing is not going to come out next year. Not Splatoon. Zelda can't come out next year. So like, if you look at their big hitters, 3D Mario is what's next in terms of their dev team.
Oh, it must be, yeah.
And we're due for one because it's been like 7 years, almost 7. It'll have been like 7 years since Odyssey and like 3-ish years since Bowser's Inside Fury or whatever, or Bowser's Fury, which was just like a small 2-hour thing.
Yeah.
So, and you think like, okay, it's been 7-8 years, next gen is coming up. You think about what you can launch with, and 3D Mario is the only thing that comes to mind.
So Mousy,
2D Mario.
Mousy thinks
But
maybe Metroid Prime 4.
no, I think that game will be shown off in the September Direct, and it will
Mm-hmm.
be announced for like early next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really buy the cross-gen stuff because then that game's
Oh wait, hang on,
there
Mousy
isn't
and
enough.
Jago in the waiting room. I didn't even see them in there. Why didn't you both tell me you was in the waiting room?
Who?
Mousy and Jago in the waiting room.
Oh, I was just I was looking at the stream.
No, not you. I'm not talking about you,
Oh,
Mario DK. I'm just like
oh, okay.
they didn't tell me that they were in there because I'm
Oh,
not always looking at the Discord thing, right? I've got like a whole bunch of windows in front of me, so I didn't actually see. So apologies.
yeah.
Mario DK has to go in just a second, so I'm going to finish up with him and then I'll bring you both in.
Um, but yeah, I think the first half of next year will be like um, Metroid, that Fire Emblem 4 remake,
Mhm.
that Peach game, some other remasters, maybe a DK game.
Yes.
But I think this time next year, like in July or June, they'll talk about their next system and they'll show off a 3D Mario.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and then I think that'll launch it. And I think Mario Kart 10 or whatever it's going to be called, that'll come the next year because they have never launched a system with Mario Kart. I know it's a big seller, but it's kind of more like the follow up because like they launched the Switch with Breath of the Wild, and then they followed up with like a month or two later with Mario Kart 8.
Okay,
So it's kind of like a
deluxe.
follow up. It's like that 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't really need 3D Mario and like Mario Kart in the holiday. I mean, that's something that you could do like 2025. And then maybe the next Smash in like 2026, the next Zelda 2027.
Oh damn.
So
You got
when
the
you
whole
look at
you got
their
the whole
dev
thing
team,
planned out.
yeah, I mean you can just look at their dev teams and like when games finish and how long
How long
you
they
give like a
take.
rough, especially the next gen for Nintendo, the games are going to take longer.
Uh-huh.
So you do like an average 4 or 5 year dev time, and you kind of figure out what games like, well, when did the last game come out, and then when's the next one coming. So I think this year is a solid year. I mean, third party support, I think the past 2 years has been kind of mid, um, and I think it's because they know the next system is coming next year. Um, but you got a 2D Mario coming after the movie. You've got Mario RPG that'll do pretty well. I think maybe around 5-ish million. Depending on what kind of changes they make to it.
Yeah.
Um, but this definitely feels like not a swan song year, but we got a lot of remasters and a lot of ports. Like we got that Luigi's Mansion 2 remaster out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, you can definitely feel things are winding down. Like it's still going to be a strong year. Like got a new 2D Mario. I think looks very interesting. Compared to the new Super Mario Bros. Series. But it's clear that we're like approaching the end.
Yeah, so there could be, I mean, potentially there could be another 18 months of Switch. Well, almost 18
Yeah,
months.
I think yeah, 2D Mario and like whatever else they have left for the first half of next year will carry them, and then after that then they'll start marketing the next gen. But as the direct overall, I thought it was good. A little weirdly paced, but that's just what they have.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
saving some
yeah.
stuff for next gen, and but it's nowhere near as bad as like the latter years of the Wii, where there was like
Nothing.
Kirby's Epic Yarn and like Skyward Sword, and like that was basically it in
Wow.
like 2011.
Yeah,
Um,
this support's way better.
yeah,
I saw a lot of people were hyped for Mario RPG, and in terms of sales, this is like really good. The metrics for this I didn't even realize this Mario RPG was that popular. The metrics were absolutely enormous. It's absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
This game is going to sell like 1 million in Japan alone, I think.
I think this is like a thought I had yesterday. Like, I wonder if it's possible for the RPG remake to outsell 7 remake.
What, Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Yeah,
What did the original sell? Like
I think 7
worldwide.
remake sold like around 1 million, a bit over 1 million, and then the original Super Mario RPG did like 1.5 million. So I definitely think it is possible
Oh
for
yeah.
for the remake of RPG to sell the remake of 7, even though it's like
In
part one.
Japan?
Yeah, in Japan.
Yeah, I think it will, just
World,
because
I don't think you can even do it worldwide too. It just depends on how it does in Europe because the original never came out.
the
in
original
Europe.
was never out in Europe. That's the thing. So no, so just people don't have the nostalgia or anything for it in Europe because it
Yeah.
just was never released there.
See,
So
but the thing is, like,
you have to be
the fact-
hardcore in order to know about it
Yeah.
and play it.
Yeah, but the fact that you didn't even shoot down my question or laugh at it tells you how much the Final Fantasy brand is fun.
No, I'm sitting here because I'm taking you seriously. I'm
Exactly, that's my
See-
point. It's like, what world are we in where like
Mario
back then,
RPG.
where, oh, Mario RPG is not gonna outsell Final Fantasy 6 or 7. But we're at the point now where that's like a legend. You know, like the weird comparisons people would bring up, like oh, what's gonna sell better, Final Fantasy 7 remake or Animal Crossing New Horizons?
I don't know why anyone even like.
Yeah, that was like
If you
an
just
era
look
thing
at
where-
the sales of past Animal Crossing games, that was like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Like, just come on.
It was only brought up because one, it was era, and two, it was like, oh, they're coming around the same time.
Yeah, it was around the
like,
same time as well. Yeah.
And like, oh my god, 7 like remake, it's gonna be so hype. Everybody's going crazy. Like, even the original only sold like up to around 10 million. There's no way a part one of a remake.
7 remake was it like Square Enix doing like weirdo things like making Epic Store exclusive things and
Yeah.
doing a really bad PC port didn't help as well. I mean, there's things like that. That I think also held back its sales potential. Along with the fact that it's obviously only on PlayStation as well. Not that it would have sold a ton on Xbox, but
Yeah.
it could have been like an extra 500,000 to a million. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But I know you were not as hot on the direct, especially like right after. But I'm curious what your thoughts are, like now that it's been a while.
it was just okay. In terms
Yeah,
of
yeah.
in terms of for me, it was more exciting in terms of like the sales potential of like a new 2D Mario in a new style and Super Mario RPG. The thing that excited me the most was the goddamn Amiibo announcement. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. It's an Amiibo announcement. Like, I was like, oh, you know, Super Mario, it's cool. I was like, oh my god, the rumors are true. It's true. They really are remaking it. I'm surprised for this game because it's been absent for all this time because of the rights issue. This was Square Enix owning like half of the game and like the characters and stuff like that, so just why it was absent for forever. So to them to be doing a full remake is interesting. So obviously, they I don't think Square Enix was involved in making it. I'm not sure who made it, but obviously they had to negotiate it with Square Enix. No, there was nothing there that was really hype for me. I was just like, oh, cool.
Yeah, if you're a Mario fan, which to be fair is like if you do a Venn diagram of Mario fans and Nintendo fans, it's like pretty close to like 80 or 90%.
Yeah, most
So like,
people.
because I saw some takes online that was like, well, if you weren't a Mario fan, there was not much for you. Well, to be fair, it's
most
like,
people
most-
were fans on Nintendo.
yeah, most like Nintendo Switch or Nintendo fans, they're gonna be into 2D Mario or buy it. Like,
I mean,
I'm
I
excited.
love Mario games. I think they're great.
Yeah, I'm not saying, I just think that take is kind of funny, just a little bit. Like, it's kind of that Venn diagram thing where it's almost a circle.
Yeah. Most
But,
people
yeah,
like Mario games on Nintendo, I would say. Most. Not everyone.
Yeah, but I can see like, oh, if you're looking for a certain type of game, like,
Hello? What happened?
Prime Remastered. we're gonna
Oh,
get
you're
some other
back.
remasters. Yeah. So it'll be a good year, good second half of the year. Nothing like, what was funny, like Chris String. You know Chris String?
Yes.
Yeah, he was first. Okay, earlier in the year he was like, yeah, after Zelda it's just gonna be quiet, like a very quiet, like pretty much nothing.
And it wasn't just
And then
him
of course
saying
we
that.
get-
What's his name?
And Andy
Robinson, he said that as well. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
their last
they were
game.
like-
There's not really anything, don't have much of anything else.
Yeah, and then as the rumors for the direct started heating up, they were like, well, it's just they have stuff, they're just gonna announce it later. And then we just got 2D Mario, and like I don't want to like dogpile on Chris String, and I don't want to do like bad mouthing like some people do, but the direct happened, and people are like, well, you said there was not going to be nothing. No. He said like after a while he was like, he kind of moved the goalpost, and he was like, well, what I meant was there's going to be no mega sellers, which is like, yeah, Pikmin isn't a mega seller. I can see
Okay,
that.
but you have to define a.
Yeah.
What's a mega
But
seller?
now we've got 2D Mario, right? That is by definition a mega seller. Like,
It
that
is.
Easily 20 million minimum, right?
Yeah.
And then people were saying on Twitter like, well, are you going to eat crow? And then he was like, well, what I meant was like a mega seller out the gate. Like Mario's going to sell well over time.
Huh?
Exactly. I was like, what? Like, it doesn't
Does it
matter.
really
if-
I'll have to see that for myself because that's kind of moving.
Yeah,
Well,
just-
mega,
yeah,
I think it will
because
be a
it's
mega
that
seller
much
out the
money.
gate because it's releasing. When is it releasing? Holiday?
October 20th?
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
It's
And then he
releasing
was
on my
even saying
birthday.
like, people were saying like, yeah, this, Wonder is going to outsell Spider-Man 2. And he was like
Easily.
strongly denying that or debating that. And like,
I think you're that.
it could be close, but
Spider-Man
like-
2 will be next gen only. It's only on PlayStation. There's no PlayStation 4 version of that.
yeah.
And Mario 2D Mario is going to be releasing on a store base of like 130 million or something. So
Yeah. So I just think it was a funny, like, I don't
It's
know.
an odd thing to say.
I don't know. I don't know if resolution is the right word, but like the whole end of this saga where they were like, yeah, second half of year for Switch is going to be pretty light, and now they're like,
they were
now
doing
this
that. I
is
think they were
full.
doing that on the assumption that like the new Switch is going to come out in like first quarter next year. I feel like that's what they
No,
were.
they only do Q1 releases if like they delay from the previous quarter because they want to do
Exactly.
holiday. Like,
Yeah, that's
they
why I
like
think it'll be
to-
holiday 2024, and it won't be. They're like, oh well, they
Yeah.
launched a Switch in March, so then. But it's like, okay, but they kind of had to for that.
Yeah.
It was delayed because they wanted to be ready for Breath
was
of the
gonna launch
Wild.
holiday 2016, the
Mm.
Switch, but they delayed it because they wanted a better like software lineup, like a steady pace.
It was a
'Cause
good
if
thing
it
they
was-
did do that.
Yeah, I mean, you saw, like, I was just going, like, when I was making my chart, right, with the attach rates, I was looking through, like, 2017, 2018, I was like, holy mother of God, that third-party support, especially from Japan, was, like, god-awful on
It was
Switch.
nothing.
It was, like,
I
almost
mean, it's
non-
better now, but it's not the best.
Yeah,
It's better now. There's no the only. I feel like when it comes down to support, third party support, like notable absences like obviously Bandai Namco. You have
yeah. I mean, they were non-existent at this direct. Usually they have some kind of, like, port or, like, pixel art game or some kind of, like, family-friendly thing, but they
Yeah.
had nothing. They had nothing.
so just I know you got to go in a sec. I've just got a couple of comments here. Welcome Vinnie Mac. Cat with her odd. That's the first thing you come and say. Cat with her odd takes. That was the best showcase for the season. Okay, you can. Do you want to? Are you able to come in and talk about it? October 20th is my birthday, so yeah, you won't forget that. Anyone saying the direct is okay was crazy. Pretty much all I'm saying is there wasn't anything that got me like hyped. I was just like, oh, that stuff's good. There was good stuff there that I want to play. You know, so I'm not that it was bad. It just wasn't like. Direct is also kind of like there's still a bit of entertainment factor as well. It's like
Yeah.
the only thing I was like, oh yeah, let's freaking go was the amiibo, but that's just because of me. That's because of what I like, right? So don't worry about that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. And in terms of sales, it's really exciting for me to see a new 2D Mario. I'm gonna bring the other two in a sec because I know like I'm sure Mousie's on limited time.
Yeah, like subjectively, I think you could argue easily like it's fine or okay, but I mean, August and September are empty. Like RPG remake is great, but it's like a faithful remake, and then 2D Mario is like.
They don't normally have September empty. Did they date those Pokemon expansions? Or they
I don't know,
show
maybe. I mean, they'll have stuff in September, but in terms of like a new release, they don't have anything, which is really strange. But,
Finny
I
Max
think
says
objectively, and I think the only way you can argue objectively is with
Hmm.
sales. So I think objectively, it's a good direct, just in terms of like 2D Mario and like RPG doing pretty well.
I agree. Oh, Finny Max says I'll fight you coming on. Oh no, they're gonna fight me! Oh, the fight. Okay, they're gonna come. I'm gonna bring them all in now. Because they've been waiting for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, I gotta head out now anyway, so.
Right, it's great talking to you. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on and taking time out of your busy day to
No problem.
chat about video game sales.
It's the calm before the storm. Next week is gonna be
Yes,
pretty
let's
spicy.
go! And we get the preliminary sort of sneak peek on Sunday, so I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah. Anyways,
How are you getting it?
have a good one.
I'll catch you later, Mario DK. Bye bye.
Bye.
See you.
So welcome to Jago, Mousy, and Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac is today's antagonist. He's coming here to fight me about this direct. How you all doing?
Vinny Mac was dropping some very convincing bars in the chat. Oh, I'm on his
Convincing. All he said was, "Fight me."
Objectively speaking,
Objectively, I agreed with Mario DK who said objectively speaking it was. Oh my gosh, I agreed. I literally agreed.
That direct was the best showcase of the season, hands down.
Wait, what?
Hands down.
Okay, why is that, Vinnie Mac? Oh God, it's so loud. I need to turn it
Because
down.
here's why. I'll explain why. Because the Nintendo Direct gave you something for every month that you can look forward to. PlayStation has Spider-Man. They have
Except for
Spider-Man.
September.
They have Spider-Man. They have Final Fantasy 16. Those are your marquee games of the year. Xbox has Starfield. That is the marquee game of the year.
Starfield and Forza.
Oh, no, you're right, Mousy. You're right. I stand corrected.
Okay, Red
Forza
Balls.
and Marcy, Forza and Starfield.
Mousy! This
I'm
guy.
sorry. Forza and Starfield are your marquee games for the Xbox. Nintendo has Mario Wonder.
Uh-huh.
Nintendo has Detective Pikachu. Nintendo has Mario RPG. Nintendo has whatever game, Dragon Quest Monster Collection. I forget the name. Those are some key games that everybody can look forward to for the Switch in its seventh year, walking into the sunset. That is a marquee year for a video game system. It gives you something every month with dates.
What about September?
yes, release dates.
Mousy's
Oh my
sorry.
goodness.
Mouse.
Every other one was so allergic to release dates.
Mousy's got a bad connection. You're all talking. I can't hear her. Unfortunately, she's got a bad connection. So let's try and keep it one person at a time. I know you're very excited, but let's try and not talk over each other because it's I don't know about anyone else, but I'm having trouble hearing Mousy. Let's hear what Mousy has to say, and we'll get to you, Jago. Mousy, what would you like to
Can you hear
say?
me, or am I zapping again?
I can hear you, but your audio is never the best. Trust me. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Continue.
I didn't tell you.
See, now I can't hear her. Oh no, Mousy, are you there?
Can you not hear me?
Right, now I can.
Okay, cool. No, I was just gonna say I love Detective Pikachu, but I'm not gonna say that that's a game that's even for like a fraction because it's basically like a visual novel.
Uh-huh. Also, they've priced it as a cheaper game. I don't know if you've noticed that. They've priced it like
Yeah,
cheap.
it's not. It's really hard for me. Like I mean, I love your enthusiasm, Vinny. I love that game, but I'm like, I know how people are about that game. Like, I can see why they kind of threw it as an afterthought in the direct as a part of making it a big like Pokemon thing because like it doesn't appeal to as many people as the other three titles that you brought up.
Yeah.
I mean, but I love it. I love your enthusiasm. I thank you for mentioning it. That is the game.
Well, I'm not, and I'll say this piece, and then I'll be quiet and let Jago speak. But I'm not speaking of it in terms of fanboyism. I'm speaking of just objectively speaking. So even if you don't like Pikachu or Detective Pikachu, that gives you something to play. You know the game's coming out. You have a date. Star Ocean, that gives you something to play. You know the date. Mario RPG, you know when it's coming out. It gives you a day. Objectively, the showcase was better. It may not hit all the hype, but objectively, that is a better direct because you know what's coming out. You can plan for it. You can start saving your money. You know what video games you're gonna get for the holiday.
Hello. 1 2 1 2.
At that point, I'll be quiet. Jago, the stage is yours, sir.
All right. I'd like to speak subjectively since Vinny was speaking objectively.
Go ahead.
I would also agree because the other showcases, so like the other ones I watched, the PlayStation showcase, that gave me 5 games to look forward to, right? That was Marvel Spider-Man, FF16, and MGS, the Plucky Spire, and Grand Blue, right? And then
With no release
Summer
date, by
Games
the
Fest.
way.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest. That's my biggest issue with all of these.
Yeah.
I think because here's the next one: Summer Games Fest with Prince of Persia and Sonic Superstars, right?
Uh-huh.
And then they also gave the release date for Spider-Man. And then Xbox, Star Wars Outlaws. That looks fun because I watched it. I watched the gameplay they released.
I
day
didn't.
after.
I missed that. Yeah, so it looked
Oh,
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. Hopefully it doesn't come out too late next year, but I expect it to come out in like November next year, which is annoying. Persona
yeah.
5 Tactica, Persona 3 Reload, and Metaphor.
Persona. Unfortunately for Persona 3, sorry, not Persona. Persona 5 Tactica.
Is coming out the same day as Mario.
Mario
but I know.
RPG. It's gonna get
Nintendo-
stomped on in Japan. It definitely.
Oh yeah.
But worldwide,
And
it
then
probably
Nintendo
as well.
goes off and
Yeah.
gives me 8 games to look forward to on Switch.
Now
which is
this
very
Mario
irritating. And only one of them's coming
Wonder.
out next year.
Mario-
7 of them are coming out.
What's the one next year? Hello? Why is everyone cutting out for me? Are you here?
As someone that's
I
not.
lost him.
Yeah, we lost you for like 5 seconds. Please repeat that.
I said that the direct was awesome as someone that's not a Mario fan.
Oh,
Good man,
okay.
Jago. Good man.
As someone that's not a Mario fan.
Okay, so you're one of these people that's not a Mario fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mario fan either.
So there you go.
Yeah,
Because
well,
I was just
but the
we're just
Dragon
talking
Ball
with Mario DK.
So Mario
about-
Wonder does nothing for you two? You're not.
I wouldn't say.
excited about the game?
I wouldn't
I'm
say that does
excited for
nothing for
people
me.
who are Mario fans.
I wouldn't say
I'm
it
not
does
excited
nothing
for
for me.
myself.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Mario Wonder does nothing for me. I'm interested in it.
I think it looks really cool.
Yeah. The
it
art
looks
style
cool.
has to grow on me.
So Mouse, is this a day one or a day later for you?
So Mario?
Mario Wonder, is that a day one buy or is that a day later?
Okay, so you gotta understand, me and platformers don't get along real well.
Oh really?
Yeah,
So you
no.
don't like Sonic? So hang on, you don't like
Makes sense.
So you don't no Mousy. So you don't like Sonic or Kirby? I'm assuming that's the case, right? They're platformers.
Yeah, you see, now we
I
understand why you two get along so well.
Don't fall for the Kirby hate. Don't
Oh
fall for the
my
Kirby hate,
God.
Mousy. She's trying to bait you in. Don't fall for the Kirby hate.
I love Kirby. I don't understand what this is. I love Kirby games.
The thing about Sonic and Kirby is I think they also have a good following for those of us that aren't great at platformers in other media types. So for Sonic, there was so much like anime and cartoons and stuff for me to enjoy.
Yeah.
So I definitely love Sonic, and there are other options. And Kirby, obviously, he's cute, and I do actually like that game. It's a box lift game that you're talking about. That's not a platformer. So no, I don't actually dislike those two at all. And I do like other parts of Mario, like Mario Kart 8. Like I love Mario Kart games. I love Mario Party games. Those you have
Yeah,
no idea how
I'm with
many.
you. I'm with you there. With the Mario spin-offs, the Mario spin-offs are a trillion times better than the platformers.
Oh my God.
Where,
What's
you know,
happening?
the RPGs, that's like peak Mario, right? I mean, aside from 3D,
Well, Mario and
like, 3D
Luigi.
World's
Mario
like
and Luigi.
3D World is like the exception.
You
right?
think
That's
you
my
think that
favorite
you think that's
Mario
the best
game.
map? Really? That's
Yeah, I
pretty-
think that's my favorite Mario game, 3D World. But like when it comes to just, but it's so like platformers, they don't hit the Mario platformers. They don't hit as hard as the spin-offs for me, or particularly RPGs and Mario Kart.
That's what's wrong with the gaming community, Jago. That you can say that the mainline Mario platformers don't do nothing for you.
Oh
Oh,
my
they do
God.
stuff for me. I just know.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
wouldn't say the platforms do nothing for me because, but when I say I mean like the 3D ones. The 2D ones I like them more. which is also why I'm a huge fan of 3D World, because that game is structured like a 2D Mario game, but it's just so much fun and filled with so much content. And
Okay.
I was able to play it
Katsu.
with my cousin for
I'll back off
years
then. I'll
and
back
years
off.
and
I'll
years
back
on
off.
end. But yeah,
Well,
you
Vinnie
asked
Mac, you know,
Mousy.
this is Jago is a person who likes Sonic. So I mean, you know, this is what you have to expect, really. That he's not.
you have to expect that I like RPGs. What?
That you have to expect that you're not into Mario. I mean, that's how it is. Right?
Oh no, not necessarily.
Sonic is cooler though.
Sonic is.
Oh, right there.
What did she say? I didn't hear.
Sonic is cooler. Way cooler. Way cooler.
You fell for that goddamn 90s advertising, Mousy. That's what happened there. They got you.
No.
90s advertising, Sonic is still cool.
But I just have to play forever with Sonic 2, and I love Sonic and Tails so much. I have a love of porn.
And Mousy's gone. Okay, right. So let's. As Mousy's gone. Let me.
I'll go with Mario.
you're here.
I'm really interested in the Mario RPG. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really interested in playing that game.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, for me, that was a big deal as far as Mario goes. I liked the Direct, but, I mean, I definitely enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, you guys know that, so...
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to just roll it back just a little bit here because I'm also excited about Mario RPG. Just want to let everybody know because I know Jago, you play some hardcore RPGs. Cat, I know you're about to venture into Final Fantasy 16.
When I get my
This is
bloody
baby
thing
shorts
on
RPG.
DVD,
So
they do.
enjoy the novelty of it, but don't go expecting, a Trails of or Final Fantasy 5. This is
it's fine.
Mario
That's
first
fine.
foray
I
into
love
RPG.
all the
That's
other Mario
fine.
RPGs. Although
Yeah.
I haven't played Paper Mario, I played Superstar Saga, Bowser's Inside Story,
Bring
Partners
back
in Time,
bloody
Paper
Mario
Jam,
and Luigi.
and Dream Team Bros.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
so
I love Mario and
annoyed.
Luigi.
Yeah,
but that
this game
franchise
very
is
cozy.
dead,
It's a very
Jago.
cozy, relaxing game. So no
And you
stress at
know
all.
what?
Alpha Dream died.
You know, I love
Nintendo
those
didn't
games.
do anything and save them. Stupid Nintendo.
I
No,
really
they're
love-
just after they absorb some of the people into their fold.
There's no evidence of that. People just asserted that. Where's the evidence that happens?
Yeah, there's no way we would get it one way or the other.
Well, yeah,
Unless
there's way to
say
find
that.
out. We found out who worked at Alpha. There would be public things if we know who worked at Alpha Dream, and then see who's working at
You can
Nintendo.
check video game credits.
You can check, or you can check video game credits, things like that. What Jago's saying. There's ways to kind of find out, but I've never seen any evidence presented that any of those people went to go and work at Nintendo.
Okay. Back to the Mario and the 10. Let's go with the Mario RPG. Is that a day one buy or a
Yes.
day later?
Yes.
No,
Day
for
one.
me it's
Day
day
one.
one.
That is
day
day
one.
one. Yes,
Already.
that is a day one buy. Yes.
Day one. I pre-ordered it already. I
It's day,
can't wait.
Jacob's already pre-ordered it. Yeah, it'd be day one for
Yeah.
me. Johannes says
It's
that
day
they're
one.
also excited for Mario RPG. Day one for me too.
But Persona 5 Tactica is also day one for me too.
Yep. I'm
They're
there with
there
you.
on the both
I'm
on the
right
same
there with
day. Okay,
Yes, I know,
so
and that's so annoying, but it's whatever. I'll find the time for P5.
it is annoying. I don't like it
After
when that
Dragon
happens
Quest.
either. But did
Okay,
that get
well-
dated? The
For Vinny and I, it's a
monsters?
little bit easier because we have Thanksgiving coming up that week, but
Oh, it's fine. Christmas exists.
Oh, what does that mean? Oh, because you're gonna be off.
usually most people are off on that day.
Right.
Like
right.
just a day?
Well, I'm not sure because I thought you were because some people work in retail and they maybe
just-
A lot of them are off now because it's a big deal not to be open for Black Friday these days. Although some places are still open, but even Walmart closes for Black Friday now.
Oh right, it closes.
Wait.
They used to not, but now they do because it's a big deal. Families complaining they couldn't be with their families on Thanksgiving.
What? Because people were going crazy for Black Friday sales.
Have you ever heard of an American Black Friday sale? Back in the
Yes.
day? 'Cause I
We
know
I've
yeah,
heard of
yeah.
it. We have it. Unfortunately, it's one of those things that got imported here to the UK as well.
There are lots of clips online where just people fight to get into the shops. It's so funny.
That's wild.
None of that stuff happens here. you just walk into a shop and you leave. It's just a normal day. Things are just cheap.
Have you been to Westfield on Black Friday, Jago? It's not just like a normal day. No, it's not. It's not like it's not people fighting like that. That has happened. I've seen footage of it. That's happened in the UK.
I mean, Westfield is just busy like a weekend. It's nothing new.
I went there. I'm never doing that again in my entire life. Went to Westfield Westfield is like a really big shopping centre here. By the way, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, it's a really big shopping centre. It's
Which
couple
one did
of
you go
them.
to, Stratford or White City?
Stratford.
That explains it. although
What's that supposed to mean? That
explains it. I mean, although Stratford one is the one that's better. Because I don't know if you've been to the one.
I've been
White
both of
City
them.
recently. I don't know if you've been there recently, but
Not for a while.
it's a ghost town. There's like no shops there.
What, in Stratford?
No, I'm talking about White City. So
White City?
Stratford's better. Yeah,
I've been there for a while. No, not since. I've been there since last. Oh my god, it was almost a year ago. I was there last year. Last summer.
I was there last year as well. It was dead.
Okay, so speaking of Persona Tactica, are all of us getting that day?
No, that's a wait for me because I haven't even played Persona 5 yet. So what am I gonna
Hello?
go and I'm here. It's
Oh no,
not
I said.
Tactica.
Are we all getting Tactica day one?
No,
Yep.
because I haven't played Persona. I'll probably play it by then. I don't know when that's out, but it's not. I'll get it, but it might be like. I say not day one, but it's like it'd be like one of those things where I'll buy it day one, but I won't play it.
I saw
for a while.
Mr. Child Hedgehog. I saw it's too late
So
for me.
what?
I don't want it to be that time.
Wait! It leaked. Please tell. Sega man,
October 17th.
Sega's.
October 17th.
Oh no!
I wanted it to be earlier just because I want to play.
No! Is it really October 17th?
That's what it says. That's what it says.
Oh
on the
no! Where
retailer
did it leak?
website. What is this
Okay.
retailer? What is this retailer? Give me a sec.
Is it legit?
I mean, it's appeared on multiple retailers. The Sonic Stadium has the thingy. Let's see. I don't know what this retailer
It's
is.
multiple
It's all in
retailers?
dollars. It's all in dollars, and they all say October 17th.
Wah, wah.
Oh yeah, so okay, now it's also at GameStop. When did they leak it?
That's
About an hour ago.
Sega is such an L company. Why the hell would they release that on
You know what?
October 17th and then
You know what? The
Persona
game's
5 Tactica on October?
November.
Because they operate.
Oh, is that November?
independently.
Yes, it's November.
Oh,
it's
never
the same
mind.
day
I thought they
as-
were the same day.
day as Super Mario RPG. Which
Oh,
is
okay,
also
okay,
the
okay,
17th
okay,
of
okay, okay.
November.
Never mind. I thought they were the same. I thought they were
3 days
October.
The bigger issue
Super
for
Mario
Sega
Bros.
is-
Wonder. Oh yeah.
3
Only
days.
going up against
Oh,
Spider-Man
no.
and Mario Brothers.
I didn't even think of that. Oh
Yeah, that's a
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big.
Oh,
Is it really next to Super Mario? But no, that's a big
Yes, it
issue
is.
because those games
no.
definitely compete against each other. That
Yes, it is.
Spider-Man as well. It's gonna compete with Spider-Man because it's also on
no,
the
no,
PlayStation.
no, dude, it's not the same audience though. Like literally,
No,
the same audience is gonna play
Audience overlap, I doubt, is as high as
as
it would
high
be for
with
Mario and
with
Sonic.
Mario.
Especially
Right.
when Sonic spells best on Nintendo. He has done since the 6th gen.
Oh, we always argue about the space, like the oxygen of the media, and Spider-Man's gonna suck the oxygen up. The other two games might do well, but Spider-Man's gonna suck that oxygen, even if there's no, overlap of
Oh,
players.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
actually
but the thing
I
is-
agree with you on that point. But
yeah,
when
but the thing
but,
is, I still think
yeah.
Mario is going to sell better than Spider-Man immediately.
Oh, it is.
Immediately.
It is.
yeah,
There's no
Well.
contest, Diego. There's no
So
contest.
the media can hype up Spider-Man as much as they want. I would love to see it because I can't wait for this game. They just had to show that one piece of gameplay and I'm sold.
he was already sold anyways. I don't know why we.
You never know. They could have released some gameplay and be like, oh, this looks mid.
The chances of it being mid after the first one was good is very low. I think.
Fight it.
Yeah. So that is unfortunate. If that's. I mean, I hope they move it, but yeah, I don't know. They probably won't. I don't know. But it's retailers that leaked it, so it's not confirmed.
Me personally, as a Sonic fan, my issue with this release date is it's too late. Why isn't it September? I want to play it now.
Well, Jago, the game probably won't be finished at that point. It's probably too early. They've planned out when it is.
Yeah, well, Sonic fans trade
well.
Sonic forces.
This is what I mean about Sonic fans.
Well, I will catch you guys later.
Okay, Mousy, thanks for joining us.
Okay,
Have a nice day.
Seeing everybody, including. Bye, guys.
Bye. Kike says, let them cook. Exactly. I just want to read a quick couple of comments. Hey, it's RJ says, at any point, honestly, I think that Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft can release a next-gen console at any point of the year, as long as they market it right and have a solid launch lineup and a good first year. What I would say to that, hey, it's RJ, is that possibly, but like, they always try and launch in a holiday, and so it's obviously for a reason. Like, why they do that? It gives them like it gives them a head start. I think is the reason. Even though they could sell, I agree with you that they could sell theoretically, it would sell well anytime. Yeah, I think it just gives them an extra head start that it looks good for investors. So you know, say, oh look, we sold this many. You know, that's probably the reason. Thank Me Center says, Spider-Man doesn't have the PS4 to sell, so Mario should outpace it, and there are different audiences. I agree.
Mario would have outpaced it on PS4 anyway.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Where's Spider-Man 1 sound?
Marvel Spider-Man in 2018. I don't know. But I know that if a Mario game released around it, like a platformer, it would have sold way better.
Didn't it sell like 20 million or something?
It would have sold. Oh, in total?
Well, it's 20 million when you include the PC version. Spider-Man 1.
I don't know.
When you include the PC. Finny Mac, are you still
is
there?
That what Sony said?
I just remember hearing
here,
20
yeah.
million. Maybe it's for the whole series. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought it was Spider-Man 1 sold 20 million. I thought it was 10 million. What?
Let's look it up.
No, they said it was like 20 million.
Marvel Spider-Man sales.
Okay, Jago's gonna let us know.
33 million.
I guess that's everything, like all of the different,
As
including
of June
Miles Morales.
2022. As of June 2022, Marvel Spider-Man adventure game. Oh, I think that's both.
Yeah, it's that and
I think
Miles
that's
Morales
both Miles and
Spider-Man,
yeah. It's
and
both
including
Miles
Spider-Man
and,
remastered as well.
yeah, it's both Miles and the 2018 game. So it says what I'm seeing here is November 2020. It was 20 million, and for June last year it's 33 million.
Dank says it's the 20 million figures totality at the time.
Yeah. So they haven't given us individual game unit sales. All we know is that October 2019, Marvel Spider-Man had sold 13 million units, which is 11 months after release.
I had thought that Miles Morales sold around 8 million. I'm sure I remember hearing 8 million for that one. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I remember hearing 8 million.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, Sony likes to do this where they have all the games. They have all the games in the series. Spider-Man PS4, Miles Morales on PS4 and PS5. They've hit 33 million as of June 2022.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously to make it look better, and
November 18th. Okay, here, November 18th, it says Marvel Spider-Man crossed 20 million units on PS4. So that's just one game, Mr. Roche.
okay, so yeah, I knew it cost 20 million. That's exactly what I thought. What is this Sonic tweet you put in there? Is Sonic dancing? Yeah, so the Sega Japan the Sega Japan account always puts out these weird stuff like this. Like, it's just the Sega Japan account is funny because like they don't like all those Sega Europe games and all thing. They don't even barely acknowledge they exist. They just act like they don't exist. In this for the Japanese account. Finimak, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm gonna have to disconnect. I appreciate everyone. You guys do a
Okay.
wonderful job. Thank you so much
Thanks
for having me on the
coming
call
through.
today.
No problem. It was great having you.
See you, Vinny Mac. Talk to you later.
Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Now, Jacob, I know you've been playing enjoying Final Fantasy 16. I can't play it at the moment, unfortunately, because well, you know what happened with the.
Yep.
Really unhappy about that. Like
Tech
deep. Oh my god! And you know, I went on the website. It's not even like a proper way to complain. You can't even like properly complain about it. It's just like that annoying.
You'd have to go on like Google reviews and
I don't know. They didn't even come to my door. I know for a fact they didn't come. They literally did not even come. So before we like end the show and whatever, what would you like to talk about relating to the topics or anything else?
let's see the topics real quick.
Well, it's just like the direct Final Fantasy
16 launch
16.
and review scores.
Yeah. Which I didn't really talk about that much, but it was just basically the point I wanted to make was that Final Fantasy 16's review scores was better than almost like most recent Final Fantasy games, because Final Fantasy 16 had an 81. Final Fantasy 14 1.0, which is the one you need to look at the 1.0. Well, Realm Reborn and everything after that reviewed well, but you need to look at the original release where it nearly tanked the franchise, and that was a 49.
And
It's
they
terrible.
and they did a formal apology to all Final Fantasy fans.
They did an apology with the battles and everything. Final Fantasy 13 was an 83. So,
I don't know how it hit that.
in terms of you think it shouldn't have hit that?
Yeah,
So Final Fantasy 13
it plays itself.
and
Almost.
oh no.
Not a big fan of its combat system, but that's just me.
Final Fantasy 13 and its sequels did really bad, scored badly. So it's the highest since what did Final Fantasy 12 score? I'm not sure.
Well, let me look.
Okay, well Jago's gonna get first. So
92.
92, right? So it's the highest since that, basically. So it's come back up from the lows of Final Fantasy 14 and 15, and now we've got Final Fantasy 16 with 88, which I don't have here, but on Open Critic is an 89.
It went down on OpenCritic.
Yeah, it's currently, let me refresh it. It's
Oh,
eight-
that's a shame.
89. It was higher than that, but it's got like,
Yeah, it was a 91 before.
yeah, but that's when it had like 70 reviews or something. It's like 92 now.
That's a shame. Oh well.
So it's just like averaged out. So I know the Metacritic one has more reviews on it.
Mm.
Uh,
So let's see the launch reviews. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6 out of 10. So 4 6 out of 10s, 4 7 out of 10s, 1 7.5. That's a lot of 8s.
so
84.
oh my god, you have to type it in new goddamn numerals. It's so annoying.
Oh yeah, it's the title.
Oh guys, I don't care. They should have a thing. This is the search bar where you should be able to have like a goddamn. You know what I mean? Where it can detect the. Anyway, it's at 100. Oh, it's 108 reviews now. It's got 2 more since I last looked at it. So yeah, so the one on the one on Metacritic is 88. So this is the best. This score is really good. It's the best score since 12, which you said was a 92. So it went down really low with the lows of Final Fantasy 14 Online 1.0, which is a 49. It only had 26, so it got absolutely panned. Absolutely panned. So the people were not happy about that. So, and then yeah, 15 was an 81, which people weren't happy with.
Yeah, no.
The launch. They
got that high either.
It was like the launch. It didn't get any negative reviews. It just got some mixed ones. Yeah. I mean, people weren't happy with the way it launched, and they added in. Didn't they add like pie control later? It wasn't there at launch or something like that. Yeah, so that's why people. That's why people weren't happy with that.
Well, you controlled one character at the time. If I recall correctly, you have to select that character in the menu, rather than doing it on the fly like in FF7 remake.
Really? Oh god, that's annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, when I was playing the game, I mostly played as Noctis because I mean, I like the royal arms.
You like the what?
Special sword that only he can wield. But special swords.
What's it called? A royal arms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Special weapons only he can wield because he's the prince.
He's the prince, right?
And his dad could wield them as well, because obviously, yeah. Only his bloodline. That's it.
Okay. Well, Final Fantasy logic. That's how that works. So yeah. So it's got 88. So really good score, in my opinion. So to talk about that, it launched. As I mentioned before, I do not have my collector's edition with my giant statue at all because DPD, the goddamn courier, decided not to even attempt to deliver it. They just didn't even come at all. Jacob, I know for a fact they didn't ring my buzzer, they didn't even come to my building. They did not come to my building at all. They left there was no card here, they didn't even come. Because if they had come here, the lock thing isn't even working, so they could have just got in. So that's how I know they didn't come. So I'm absolutely furious because they took it to a local retail store, but in order for me to get that, I have to walk down to the high street, and I can't take a bus there because it's quicker to walk because I want to take a bus out of the area and then take another bus down back into the area. So it's pointless. So I'd have to go and walk there, a mile there and a mile back, and I can't go and do that in the hot sun. Good spoiler alert! Jesus Christ, what is going on here?
This is all in the demo.
No, I know that's what I'm saying, but if you haven't played the demo, because I didn't know you could do that until I played the demo. That what they just showed. I was like, oh snap! Because I didn't know that.
Opening the door. That one.
No, that's not what I was talking about. Anyway, yeah. So what's my train of thought? Yeah. So DPT can. I can't even say what I want to say because I'm trying not to swear. I said it in the pre-show. I was very explicit. I was saying they can get out of here. So I don't have my collector's edition, so I'm not gonna be able to go and get it until Monday. Cause I'm busy tomorrow. Sunday I think is closed. It might be open. I'll check. Is it open on Sunday? Maybe I can go. It's in a retail store. It's a goddamn retail store, but they take stuff to retail stores. It's a retail store. So.
Me, if they ever miss, they deliver it again the next day. Or if
they didn't even do. This is the thing with DPD. They don't even give you that option. There was no option to do that, to offer redelivery or try again. They just took it to this retail store. This is why I'm so annoyed.
Yeah,
There's literally no option.
What I was going to say was if they don't try to deliver it again the next day, they give it to a corner shop near me.
Yeah, I wish they had done that. Attempt a redelivery. Because they didn't even attempt delivery in the first place. So I did that because the person didn't want to come here at all. It's not like my address is hard to find, it's obscure or anything like that. It's really easy to find. I don't know. I'm very angry, Jago. So I can't get this until next week.
I don't
Anyway,
blame you. I don't blame you. The game
if it
is
was you, you'd be furious. I'm like, Jake, I know
Yeah.
you'd be furious.
Yeah, I would be
Because you was
livid.
furious about getting, what was it, the Pixel remaster?
Yeah,
thing
it came
one
a
day
day
late.
late. I was so angry.
No, why was that? Was that because Square Enix sent it out like one day later?
Square Enix, they dispatched it when they always dispatch it, literally at 9 p.m. the night before.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, the
always.
night
They
before
always do that.
release?
Yes, they always do that.
But
Always.
then shouldn't it like arrive on release day, or is it just?
That's what they're meant to do. And you also have to pay. You also have to pay delivery for it as well. So that's why.
Well,
that's
that's
why I
another
was
thing,
also
Square
angry,
Enix-
'cause
Square
I
Enix
spent an
stole.
extra $5. I
For
spent
that-
an extra $5 for it
Jake,
to
that's
come a
really
day
good.
late.
Oh no!
Like, why is it coming on April 20th when release day is April 19th?
Yeah, so that's annoying.
Extremely annoying.
Luckily, this wasn't. If they delivered it a day later, they was actually delivering. I wouldn't be as angry as the fact that I have to physically go and walk out and go and get it. That's why I'm so cross, because they've taken it to this store. Because they didn't even attempt redelivery, nothing. So I need to try. After this, I'm going to try and look and see if I can. In fact, when I looked yesterday, there was no way to even. There's no customer service on the DPD thing. When you go onto the thing to ask for like questions and everything like that, it just you just go
On
go
the app,
round
they
and
ask
in.
you to rate their drivers.
Goddamn zero. They're getting a zero. It did not even try to didn't even attempt delivery. I'm so angry. It's not even Square Enix's fault. It's DPD. I'm sure it must have been DPD that came to you as well. It's probably the same. They probably use the same company.
Yeah,
But you got yours. So what's happening?
I was waiting at the door.
Yeah, but I can't be waiting at the door. I live up on the 10th floor, man. I live 10 stories up.
Yeah, I understand that. I was waiting at the door because I was so excited. It was like, oh, it's coming between 9:33 and 10:33. I can't wait.
Oh
And
my
then it
god!
was-
I think I can actually imagine. It's so funny. I can't imagine you
Yeah,
doing that.
can't wait. Like,
Uh,
and then at 9:30, I ran downstairs and I waited at the door. I was like, okay, now I just sit and wait. I was checking my phone, and it said that he was on delivery. That he was on delivery 25. You're next.
See, I did
And
that.
you
Well,
can-
I didn't even get that update because that's how I know that guy didn't come, because I got the message like they give you the slot, like the hour slot or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
I didn't get the tracking through, and you can see its number, this delivery. It just went straight to they've taken it to the shop. Then you wasn't in. It just went straight. You wasn't in.
On the DPD app, it does it automatically with your account.
I'm so angry. I'm so angry. Anyway.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to download the app to see what your thing is at all times.
Well, I don't have the app. I just looked at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't need to have it.
Right. I'm angry, but we're not talking about me not getting my. I swear, if that thing is damaged, it's going to be hell to pay. It's going to be hell to pay if that is damaged. I'm going to go absolutely up the wall. If that.
It shouldn't be damaged. They package it really well.
Well,
At least they package
one
it really well for me.
Well, one thing I got from Square Enix was that when I bought it was a Octopath Traveler OST, and it came cracked. So that's how I knew that it came from that you had to send it back to that place in Blackfriars. I was telling you that's
Mhm.
when you return it. They said that's where that's where I have to return it to
Mhm.
there.
The
And
European
I was
DPD.
like, oh, I didn't know it was there. Is that where it is?
Yeah, Blackfriars.
Yeah. So you had to return it there. Now I don't think all their warehouses are there.
Well, I mean, it has to be, right?
Well, yeah, there must be some sort of warehouse or something if they're taking returns there. Yeah, I guess so. Well, maybe there's a distribution thing there. Maybe yeah. Okay, so maybe there is a warehouse there, but it goes to the warehouse coming from somewhere else. Well, that
Mhm.
particular thing came from
Yeah,
Japan.
yeah,
but,
because it goes from the warehouse to DPD. So there are many different points around the country. Like my friend, he lives in Portsmouth, and it came from Southampton to his house.
I'm about to kick that F off. Anyway, so Jake, I don't know about you, but I'm so hot. This is why I can't even think straight. That's why this show's been really weird for everyone listening.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
why is it?
extremely hot.
It's just like, it's like saying it's like 26 now. That's why we got the fan noise. I'm sorry if you can hear that, but I just can't
Well,
survive.
Discord is doing well at blocking the fan out. I guess you're using OBS or Streamlabs.
Streamlabs.
Yeah, I guess that's not doing a good job at blocking out the fan because I can't hear the fan.
Oh.
But when I was in the stream, I could.
Oh. I see. I wonder, does Streamlabs not have that kind of blocking? What do you call it? I guess it doesn't.
Noise cancelling.
Noise cancelling. Yeah, Discord has a noise cancelling, but that doesn't. Audio. It doesn't say anything about no
But
noise cancelling.
maybe you could also like tamper with the sensitivity.
Of my microphone, yeah, I can turn it down, but then you won't hear me as well.
No, as in like change it so the fan's frequency doesn't quite.
Oh, it's already on the lowest setting. It's on the lowest setting right now. They did that.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the lowest one. But yeah, I mean, like if I turn it off, I'm gonna be like 10. That's the higher one. This is a really crappy, cheap fan. It's like it's a tiny plastic fan. It's not even a full size fan. It's a tiny plastic desk fan. I'm probably gonna have to end up getting some air conditioning. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna wrap up the show because I'm really hot. I think Jago sounds really hot and tired. Probably wants to go and play more Final Fantasy 60. Probably end up finishing the whole game this weekend.
Hell, I mean, if I do finish it, then that's just me playing Final Fantasy mode. I can't wait.
Just Jago's just gonna no life it and just finish it this
Yeah.
weekend. I wish I could do that, but I have to study this evening. So yeah, I've got to do that, and then tomorrow.
The joys of no longer being a student.
I'm not a student.
You made yourself a Japanese student.
I made myself a Japanese language student. I'm just
Yes.
learning Japanese for fun.
Yes.
I personally just find it really interesting learning a language. Kind of keeps me active, keeps my brain active, and I'm having fun. And I think I've learned quite a lot. Still got a very, 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 very long way to go. Since it takes. Oh, hi, Katana Riku. Hi. I'm actually gonna end the show soon. Because it's just Katana Riku. It's so hot. It's so hot in London. Like I can't even. Like honestly, like this show has been all over the place because like my brain is like completely out of. Oh, you're studying Japanese as well, Johannes. Oh, awesome. How long have you been studying Japanese? I've been studying Japanese longer than I care to admit because like I wasn't taking it seriously until like a year ago. I wasn't like doing it a lot. Then a year ago I was just suddenly like, oh my god, I could have learnt this whole language by now. Just 3 years of doing hardly anything. So then I started studying it properly and I've learnt way more than I did in the whole. Well, that wasn't. It was partly because like I started like just before, kind of like maybe a year before the pandemic and everything. In the college I used to go out to the classes, it all shut down. I don't know. I just lost all motivation. Like, and I just wasn't really studying it. And so then I kind of like, not completely restarted, but like really kind of like just started going for it. And so that's why, even though I've technically been studying it for a while, I wasn't studying like properly, like, you know, like taking it seriously. But now I've started taking it more seriously, and I think just from what I've been doing 2-3 years ago, awesome. I'm still like, you know, pretty low level. I'm still like N5 level. My sensei says that I could take the N5 now. Like, I could do the N5, but like N4 is what I'm doing next. Like for the content, I don't know. I'd have to like the exams in December, so I don't know if I would do it this year. Maybe wait until next year and do the exams. But my sensei reckons that I could do it, and I've realised that I've ended up I've like learnt loads and loads and loads of words, shall we say, vocabulary, but like my grammar is not good. I used the N4 test a couple of years ago. Oh wow, so you're like super advanced then? A couple of years ago? Yeah, so like when everything got shut down, like in the UK, like during the pandemic, like all those they stopped doing the JLPT tests. They just completely stopped doing them. I think there's only like one place in London that does it. So they just stopped. So you couldn't even do it if you wanted to. But they started them back up recently. So yeah, I might study towards it. But yeah, but being the thing that helps the most is just being consistent. Literally, that's what I've been studying every single day. Just consistency. It's just the main thing. Even if I only get like my basic studying done every day for like 1 hour, then that's still good. So I always make sure I try and finish it. So I got that today. I don't know why I started. See, I'm so tired. I'm talking about just. Oh my god. Why am I talking about this? Oh my god. I'm gonna clip this out. I'm gonna edit the goddamn stream. Edit this out. It's not funny. It's not funny. Why are you laughing? How's that funny? Jigga, you're so mean. It's oh my god, I'm out of my mind. Okay, so this is like a really short show as well, I guess. But
That's fine.
Katana Riku, you can listen back to the stream. It was just like it was all over the place. I had some guests on, so thank you to Jago, thank you to Mousy, Mario DK, and Vinnie Mac, who was on. They was all on earlier. Mario DK I had on for quite a while, talking about stuff. We did go over the Famitsu charts and stuff, but you can probably hear that I am waning. So how is it now when I'm ending I get 10 viewers? Like what is going on here? Oh my god, was that 3 viewers a minute ago?
I'll see you, J2. He's leaving.
What's happening? Well, it's too late. I have to end the show because I'm whacked. But yeah. Any last thoughts, Jago?
If you have a PlayStation 5, play Final Fantasy 16.
If you have a PlayStation 5, play Final Fantasy 16. That is a free
The demo is free and awesome. Make sure you play the Iconic Challenge because it's also free and awesome.
Well, you don't have to do that part in my opinion, but anyway. I didn't do it.
Yes, but I'm saying you should because it's free and awesome.
I guess you could if you are not convinced, but I was just like, I'm going to get this game, I don't need to do that.
Or if you just want to play more games.
Because you know what, Jago, I'm going to be honest with you, I thought I was going to have that game in my hands now.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
But no, DPD decided
Ruined it.
that I was not going to have it. So I'm annoyed. And someone said, I think my business earlier says, someone said to me, I think on Twitter, "Are you going to get the game digitally?" What the hell? No! I already spent. How much was that collector's edition? £300?
£335 including
Hell
shipping.
no! I'm not spending another £60. I've got those
65.
things. When I bought digital, and I thought you bought the goddamn collector's edition for that amount of money. No!
Yep.
No! Square Enix is not getting double money from me. No! They get too much of my money already. Oh my god. Do you know what? Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. Anyway, oh my god, I'm so tired. I'm not even using this screen ending. I have a screen ending thing. Where's the thing?
You remembered this time though.
I know.
So do it.
Wait, hold on. You're putting pressure on me. My god, Jago. Why are you pressuring me?
That's what you get for having bad taste.
Oh my god. And I didn't have the music on this time because I don't know, I just forgot. Anyway. I'll catch you later. Bye bye everyone. Say bye, Jago.
Bye everyone.
Bye everyone.